I'm a crow. Hello, buddy, Podcast Land. I'm your host, Brett Holland, and welcome back to the MID Podcast Show Travel Edition. This time, we're down in Chucktown, North Charleston to be exact. Stop by B-Dubs first. The wings was dry as hell, though. I guess because I'm black, the waiter told him to automatically fry them hard in the back, but whatever. Pulled up on my boy Digga 2K, known this dude for 4 years, but this is the first time we gonna meet. That's crazy. But anyway, sit back, relax, enjoy the show, subscribe, share, and hit me up. Shoot, you never know. I might travel to you. We down here in Charleston, South Carolina. This is a very, very, very special episode for me. All right. And I'm sorry I'm jumping up words, my damn lips are dry and shit, but I'm here now. All right. But again, this is a very, very special episode for me. I want everybody to welcome Digga 2K to the show.
Thank you.
Over the years, man, so we gotta give everybody like our backstory. This is the first time that I'm meeting this nigga. Like the first time. I might know you for like what, 3 years, right? About now?
About 4.
About 4 years?
About
That's
4
crazy.
years.
So I know him for 4 years, but I never met him because it was on some catfish, some online dating type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it was some crazy shit. Yeah. But how we met, your friend, we call him Bodega Earl.
You call him Bodega.
Well, I call him Bodega Earl. Earl from the Bodega. And if y'all remember him, because earlier, a couple of years ago, he used to come by the show when we was in Fayetteville, because he was stationed in Fayetteville. He was in the Navy. He was stationed in Fayetteville, and he came on the show a couple of times, and he was telling me like, "Oh man, my boy down there where I'm from, man, he got a show too," and that's how we got connected. You started calling into the show a couple of times.
Right.
You got your own podcast show,
absolutely,
and I started to call into your podcast show, and it is kind of, we were just going back and forth like that for almost 4 years, and never met this motherfucker.
And, trading off music and everything. Music opinions and shit like that.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Wait,
So
I can curse, right?
Yeah. This is you can do anything you want on this motherfucker.
All right.
But again, so everybody know I turned this to a traveling podcast. I relocated down to South Carolina, and then it just dawned on me like, damn, Digga is in around Charleston, Lansing, South Carolina.
Right.
And then I'm like, man, that's like an hour and a half from me. So I was like, oh, bet we're gonna set this up. We're gonna meet for the first time, and we're gonna do the show also at the same damn time.
Right.
So it all worked out beautifully. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad we doing this. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Tell everybody who you is, man, and tell people about yourself, man.
My name is Daniel Laurie, aka Digga Jones. I have my own podcast, which is the Troublemakers Podcast. It's myself, my little brother, my cousin Mikey, and my homeboy Two Gun. We've been doing a podcast for, this will be year number 6 right now. So a little under 300 episodes, a lot to digest. So other than that, I'm a music connoisseur, I like to think.
Yeah, so, you are. I think we both are.
Right.
And it's crazy because we both are music connoisseurs, but we still got different tastes at the same time.
Right.
We got a lot of stuff that we agree on that we like equally, and then sometimes we get like far left. Like, you know what I'm saying? Right. Like, nah, this is what I like.
That's to go with anything. It's just like you're not always going to agree 100% with everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fact.
So,
but I'm gonna tell you what though, me being from Georgia, I thought I was one of the biggest No Limit fans in the world, but hell no. You got me beat. Like, you got this thing. You listen to everybody.
I do.
In No Limit. I didn't do that. I just listened to like the starting 5. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna tell you like this. I have an authentic No Limit chain that full-blooded wore.
Yeah.
That's how much of a fan I am.
That's crazy. See,
out of all artists, full-blooded.
Yeah, but I'm like, what? And I'm like, man, I only listen to the start 5, man. If it ain't P, Silk, Mr. Cool,
C.
C Murder.
Mia.
Yeah, Mia. Like, I don't go too far past that. I tried, though. You know what I'm saying? This me being a fan, I tried to go past that, but it was just like, nah, I just stick to the regular guys.
I'm going to tell you like this, and this is off the record. The best No Limit album of all time is Cannon Abel by my brother's Keeper. So I always say, if you want a quintessential No Limit album that features almost everybody, with the exception of Skullduggery, which Skull was Skull.
Yeah.
That's the album to pick up.
Cannon Abel. I don't even think I might have heard that album maybe like one time. And then I was like, I'm good.
That's my favorite No Limit album. You know, the first time I heard that album, I fell asleep on it. I'm dead ass serious. I was just like,
So what you were dreaming about it, and then you like,
no,
man, you know
no,
what? This
no,
shit kind of hard. It's
no.
hard to
What
the
ended up,
motherfucker.
no, what ended up happening is this is how most CDs become people's favorite CDs.
Uh huh.
When I first heard it, I was like, nah, this ain't it, and I
Yeah.
fell asleep.
Yeah.
So I went to somebody's house, and they were playing "Let's Go Get 'Em," which is like I think track number 21.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yo, that's pretty fire. What is that? They're like, oh, that's that Cannon
Yeah.
Abel. So I was like, yeah, I gotta
It's weird
re-listen.
how that works, right? Because it's a lot. You're right. It's a lot of albums that you might not think is anything,
Right,
but you just wasn't in the right setting to hear it.
right.
You know, so
But
you get it to a certain setting and you hear it again. You like, oh man, I'm like that with songs. Maybe not with albums, but I'm definitely like that with songs.
I mean, in all fairness, I just got done pulling a double at work. I was
Yeah,
16 years
yeah,
old, and
yeah,
like you think you got the energy, but
yeah,
I was burning myself out that summer.
yeah,
When I first heard it, I fell asleep on it. I'm like, nah, this ain't it. So,
but it's just that's how I am with Gucci Man.
oh God,
I can't stand Gucci. I really can't stand Gucci Man. But my boy, my nigga JT that I grew up with,
come back.
he always told me, he always told me like, you just cause he moved from Brunswick to, Atlanta, and he
Right.
always tell me like, nah, man, you just wasn't in the city, like you wasn't. You know what I'm saying? I understand that. Like, no, I wasn't in the city. I
But
was,
still,
but still, I just think he's a garbage rapper.
but here's the thing: I wasn't in New
Yeah,
Orleans at the time when I got into No Limit, but it happened.
it happens. But also, I think my boy JT, he just like all type of music. Like he just
Right.
likes anything with a good beat to it. I'm like, I go a little deeper
And
than that.
no knock on Gucci Mane or
Yeah,
anything.
yeah, yeah. He's still a pioneer.
All your Gucci fans out there,
Yeah, yeah.
don't hate me for
Oh, they
this,
about to jump in my DM about it.
but don't hate me for this. But the thing about Gucci Mane was he was releasing too much at one time.
Okay.
So like when you overflood the market like that, what's going to happen? You're end up going to drown.
Mm-hmm.
So I always use this example. All
Mm-hmm.
right, so like you're in a pool.
Yeah.
How tall are you?
5'9".
You're 5'9". Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so you're in a pool. You're in the 6 foot section, right?
Yeah.
If they keep on putting water in a pool and you're standing
Yeah.
there, what's going to end up happening? You're oversaturating yourself and you're going to end up
Mm-hmm.
drowning soon.
Yeah.
That's what happened with Gucci Mane. The thing about it was, I got this mixtape coming out this day. On Thursday, I got another mixtape coming
Mm-hmm.
out. On Friday, guess what? Another fucking
Yeah.
mixtape coming out. And not only was he releasing mixtape, he was releasing studio
Mm-hmm.
albums. So not only was he releasing studio albums, he
Yeah.
was also a feature artist. It's what Wayne did
Mm-hmm.
in from 2007 to 2013.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing about it was Wayne at least let you breathe.
Yeah.
Gucci was just like, yeah,
The audio up. Don't worry
gotcha,
about that.
gotcha, gotcha.
But yeah, so that's how I feel about when it comes to like No Limit.
All right, so
Yeah.
you got to understand in 1998 when they released the 28 albums,
Mm-hmm.
again, too
Yeah.
much at one time. So, but me, I mean, I
Yeah.
had music everywhere, so I was allowed to play music at work. I was allowed to play music here, so I got a chance to digest the album
Yeah.
for a week.
Yeah.
And then when the next album came out,
Uh-huh.
I was able to digest that one.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they don't listen to music like us.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, they just listen to a song here or there.
Uh-huh.
They don't listen to whole albums.
Yeah.
But this is back in '98 when streaming wasn't available.
Yeah. Especially like a lot of us was like getting our license and stuff like that.
Right, right,
And so we'll get these albums and then we'll just like ride around all day listening to them.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And
Like
I was about to
we
say,
just don't have that time. Cause everything is so fast paced now. Like we just don't have that time to even like do that stuff. Cause we're grown now. For one, we
right,
got jobs, we got kids, we got all type of stuff going on. So
right.
it's kind of hard to sit. But what I still do is I still get my like if Drake would have dropped last night, like everybody thought
Like
he
he,
was,
yeah,
I would have got my bottle. You know what I'm saying? I put the kids to sleep, and I make sure that okay, this is my time.
that's your
Everybody is
recoup
asleep.
time.
That's my recoup time. I'm gonna take me a couple of shots, then I'm gonna press play.
Right.
But I only do that with certain rappers, man,
So,
because rappers these days they do sound exactly like. So it got to be certain rappers that I would
so
put time aside. Yeah.
I think that segues into the first topic,
Mm-hmm.
because when we were riding around
Yeah.
listening to these albums,
Mm-hmm.
there are certain albums that we thought were classics back then.
Yeah.
Now, as you get older,
Then age well.
you
Yeah.
reevaluate shit.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna let you lead into that topic.
Okay. Okay. So the first topic that we have, what is a overrated classic album? Like what album that everybody was saying like, oh, this is a classic, this is it's crazy, boom, boom. But when you got to it, it's like I mean, it's alright. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't really
So
what everybody, pumped it up to be.
I'm gonna go ahead and start this off, okay?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are gonna hate me for saying this, but hear me out.
Okay.
My album that I thought was a classic back then, but when I listen to it now, it's just mediocre.
Mm-hmm.
It's Life After Death by the Notorious B.I.G.
I would agree with you with that one.
Life After Death, and the reason why I say that is because when you really break the album down,
Mm-hmm.
yes, Biggie has some bars.
Yeah.
The sequencing of the album was terrible.
Okay.
You start with Somebody's Gotta Die.
Mm-hmm.
Then you go into Hypnotize.
Yeah.
Then you go into Kick in the Door. Then you go into Fucking You Tonight. Like, you've already went through so many emotions
Yeah.
going through that. And then when you listen to it, even though Big is a great lyricist,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't hold up today. When you listen to a song like Play a Hater, it doesn't hold up today.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna agree with you on that one. And the reason why I'm gonna agree with you on that one because I was living in DC when that album dropped, and that's around the time he died.
Right.
Like right after he died. You know what I'm saying? So he died, then
2 weeks after he died.
and then they dropped that right there. So I think at first it was just a one CD album. I think it was just one CD. Right, they had the songs that they wanted for that one CD. Cause I always think like the first disc is better than the second disc. And
I would partially agree.
Okay.
Some of the best songs are on, CD too.
Okay, I got you. So it kind of balances itself out, but I still think that it would have been better as one single disc. Those songs that we like on the second disc, put them on the first disc.
Right.
I think we'd have been going somewhere with that one.
Correct.
Because I think at the end of the day, it turned into like, oh man, we got all these songs. He died. Let's just put them all out.
So here's what I think the allure of that album was.
Mm-hmm.
This man just passed.
Yeah.
So we're already going to put this CD on the top tier.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, let's use the Machiavelli album for an example.
Yeah.
Pac died, a few weeks before the album was released.
Mm-hmm.
And when it came out, we already said it was at God level status because of who he was.
Yeah.
And I think the same thing happened with the Notorious B.I.G.
Yeah.
Because to this day, I still listen to Ready to Die.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of my pregame albums.
Okay.
If I'm going somewhere, if I'm, doing something,
Yeah.
that's the album you throw on.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what it is we had so much illusions of grandeur with the Ready to Die album.
Yeah.
We wanted to say this man passed. This is the legacy he's leaving. This is just as good. When you go back and listen to it, it's just like, this ain't it.
Yeah. I really love the Machiavelli album though.
Oh no.
No, yeah, you just use that example, right?
Right.
Because he did have All Eyes on Me
Correct.
before that, so he was put on like on God status from that double disc album, which was a good double disc album. It's hard to make a good double disc album.
One of the best, if not the best, double disc album in hip
Yeah,
hop.
yeah, it has to be.
If
It has
not
to be
the
front to
best.
back bangers on both discs.
If not the best.
Yeah, like that. That's very hard to do. And Tupac did it, and then he backed it up with Machiavelli.
Correct.
Sadly, he had to die because I was like, oh, now he's on the roll.
But the funny thing about the Machiavelli album that people don't pay attention to, it was released 6 months after.
So it was. I mean, it was already. Finished.
It was already
Yeah.
completed, but it was released 6 months after.
Yeah.
Who in the hell in hip hop has lightning strike in the same place twice?
That's crazy.
Only
Only DMX. DMX dropped 2 albums in 1 year. He went
number one on both albums.
Yeah. So that's the only time, like, other than Tupac, that I seen it happen.
Well,
I mean, what DMX did, that did happen with DMX. He didn't make history with that.
No,
and they bettered him with that.
I know he made history with it, but was Flesh of My Flesh really on the level of
As Dark as Hell is Hot?
Right.
I didn't think it was.
I didn't think it was.
Oh, I love that album, man.
No, here's the thing.
Yeah.
I love the album, but like I said, remember when I said about the we wanted to be on God level status. It's Dark and Hell is Hot was still in my player when Flesh of My Flesh dropped.
Yeah.
So I remember listening to Flesh of My Flesh about 2 times in a row, and I'm like, all right, cool. And I went back to It's Dark and Hell is Hot.
But I don't. I mean, both of them were just equally good to me. I think DMX came out the box 3 classic albums off top because
and then there was X.
I was like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like you doing 3, like goddamn.
And then there was X.
Yeah, it just went. He was just on top of the world.
Game over.
Do me for that. Your nod. Just put it down just a little bit more.
About right there.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Right,
Okay, now so I'm gonna go to my album. And
Is this going to start a debate?
it is, because every time I mention this album, this ain't the only time I said this. This ain't the only time I said this. Every time I mention this album, everybody lose their fucking mind. Like, I can't believe, like, you're saying this, right? But to me, the album was just so mediocre that I don't understand what y'all niggas was saying.
Let me mentally prepare for this,
Okay,
please.
all right.
All right, let's go.
Now, I love J. Cole, okay? We gonna go ahead and throw this out there. Everybody know I love J. Cole. I was in Fayetteville before J. Cole was J. Cole. He was Jermaine.
Are you about to say what I think you're about
I
to
know,
say?
I know you know exactly what I'm going to say, right? But the one album out of all his albums that I felt like y'all are bugging, because this is not the album, was
2014
2014
Forest
Forest
Hills
Hills
Drive.
Drive, man. Fuck that album.
All right.
Fuck
So,
it. I'm not saying it was a bad album.
let me hear your explanation first before I defend
Okay,
this.
all right. So his first two CDs, the Sideline Story
Yeah,
and
Born
Born
Sinner.
Sinner, I think with his production wise, that both those albums was equally balanced with, songs about hope, songs you can bounce around to, songs about it was just equally balanced.
I will say one thing. The Illuminati on Born
Yeah,
Sinner is my favorite
yeah,
opening track
it's
on an
crazy.
album of all time.
Yeah,
And
songs
I'm
about the
saying
Jordan
this
Illuminati. Yeah,
and I'm saying this
yeah.
on film. The Illuminati is one of the best opening tracks, if not the best opening track of all time.
I'll give it number two. I'll give you mine, who I think has had the best. But when it comes to that album, I think lyrically he wasn't there. Me personally, it's the songs was too drawn out. The whole album was just drawn out. It was just too. It was just
But
like,
do you know the story behind the album? He finally purchased his childhood home,
yeah, okay.
which was
And I stayed around the corner from that at one point.
2014 Forest Hills Drive.
I know the
So
back. Look, you can give me the backstory. He even did a concert in fucking Fayetteville, and all my niggas that was still in. Cause I was in Hawaii at the time when it dropped, but all my niggas went to the concert and all that stuff. Like they all on the HBO. Like I get it. At the end of the day, with all his albums, that one did not cut it for me. It was too drawn out. He had a song about losing his virginity. I'm like, bro, you
oh
like 30,
yeah,
you almost
Wet
30 years old.
Dreams.
Yeah, it's like, come on, why you still? And he was still reaching towards the college student. I'm like, you about 30 years old at this point.
So what I think did it for me on the album
Mm-hmm.
is because it became more of a personal album. So when you listen to everything on the album, it reminded him of Fayetteville. So when he said on the interview, he said, "This is the CD I've always wanted to release, but Jay wouldn't let me. Now that I got my destiny in my own hands, I'm finally releasing what I want to
And
release." That's why J. Cole's albums are sounding the way they are now.
I think that's just the only drawn out album. But if Jay-Z said that, he saved him. Because if he would have dropped that album first, I don't think J. Cole would be who J.
Oh,
Cole is.
absolutely not.
So, hate it or love it, with Jay Z, Jay Z might have held him back. Like, nah, nigga, don't drop that one. Don't do that one.
He said that Jay Z for the first two albums was just like, no,
Yeah, yeah,
this.
and he did him right.
He said, if you go number one on this album, because remember, he came out the same week as Ye.
Yeah,
And remember, his album went number one the
yeah,
following week.
yeah,
So he said, look, if you go number one on this album, and Jay knew he was going against Ye. He says, you can release the CD you want to release.
yeah.
And that's what happened. But here's the thing, though. I think J. Cole had to get that album out of his system.
You're right, and I'm not knocking that.
So,
But
but it's
everybody that arguing about that album, I have never seen them replay it. I have never seen them play it. Not around me. They never. When I'm around them, they'll never bring it up. They'll never.
It's
We have
wild.
barbecues. They don't never play it. Like
that's wild.
and it's
to me.
like y'all talking about this album was like one of the greatest of all times, and I don't even hear y'all play it no more.
That's wild to me because, like, anytime I'm about to go on a flight, I listen to San Tropez. I listen to Love Yours anytime I'm, like, in a down mood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the CD has so much prevalence to me, and I think it's because of my situation in life at the time when it came out. Because, I'm not ashamed to say this now. I was ashamed to say it then.
Yeah.
I was living in my car when that album came out.
Yeah.
I was transitioning in between homes, whatever, whatnot. And I lived in my car for about 6 months.
Okay.
So
Damn.
I really use that CD as hope. So I guess for me personally,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's more of a personal thing as opposed to looking at the album as a whole. Might it be a bad album? Absolutely. But for my situation at the time, it was just more so, that's what I was holding on to at the time.
Okay, I give you that. I was in Hawaii in the sunshine, 80 degrees all the way around. Like I wasn't, I wasn't going through nothing. You know what I'm saying? I was in Hawaii chilling, trying to learn how to surf. I ain't want to hear that shit.
This
You know
nigga
what I'm saying?
this nigga said, "Fuck your homelessness."
Yeah, you know what? Fuck your homelessness. You know what I'm saying? I was in Hawaii living my life. Nah, but we were just in two different
Yeah, we were in
parts of our life.
Yeah,
so
we were just
when
two
that album
different facets
dropped,
of
it
life.
just touched you better. Me, I'm like, I don't want to hear this shit. I'm in Hawaii, wilding out.
Well,
You know.
and that goes for me like with another album that I really don't like, but most people like, and that's Mobb Deep's Murder Music.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm not. But I'm from the South, so that
Right.
it didn't touch me how.
I've always had a New York state of mind.
Me too. Me too.
You know
But
what I
not
mean?
them though.
But Mobb Deep's Murder Music, everybody's like, yo, this is a classic, 4.5 mics in the source, this, that, and the third. I'm like, I just don't hear it.
See, some people, I like. I got really into hip hop or rap just off of New York. Period. When I was in DC,
Right, we all did.
Yeah. When I was in DC, I got introduced to DJ Clue tapes and all that. And it kind of changed my mind about everything. I was just straight no limit till I went to DC. Then here comes motherfucking, DJ Clue, and I hear Nori, I hear Cameron, I hear all those guys, Carmega, all those guys, right? But still, Mobb Deep, this ain't do it for me. And I think, like, even with Wu-Tang with me, right? Legendary group,
I saw them last year in concert.
Yeah, it's like I don't know what the hell you saying. Like you just
So-
they speak so much in deep dialogue.
So
It's like I don't know what y'all. I can't follow.
here's the thing about the
they
Wu-Tang
say.
Clan. I dig individual people from the clan,
Yeah,
but
But
there are certain Wu-Tang CDs
yeah.
I just can't listen to
Yeah.
because
yeah.
you get it.
Yeah, separately, like Method Man, I can fuck Method Man, Capadonna, I can fuck with him. The Ghostface, Ghostface, he get a little too crazy, just with the metaphor. I don't know.
I like Ghost.
I flat the tire with a steak iron, and like, you're like, what? You flat the tire with a steak iron? I don't know, what are you talking about? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he just be saying random stuff, and me personally, once like white people get a hold of something, I just kind of like.
What did he say? Judge Judy, big groupie, bitch, bluebie, should have did, do
It's
it. I was like,
I'm
wow.
like, what? You know what I'm saying? But people like that. But once white people get a hold of something like real deep, like it becomes theirs.
Right.
Like Wu-Tang's white people now. Like if white people embrace that
I
whole.
will say this. Last year I went to the New York State of Mind tour,
Okay.
which was, Wu-Tang, Nas.
Yeah.
There were more white people at the concert
Yes. Yeah.
than black people.
And it does it. I would even. It would even boggle my mind if I seen that. Because that's all I see talking about it today. Unless you're a real hip hop historian type guy,
Right.
you don't really talk about like the Wu Tang era or this type. When the Wu Tang series came out, I wasn't really. I saw the first season of it. It went crazy.
I still didn't watch it.
It's the first season's all right, but then they changed up RZA voice, the actor. On the second season, I don't know, they went kind of crazy with that.
But the only reason why I went to the Wu-Tang show is because Nas is my second favorite rapper of all time.
Yeah.
So in my 40 plus years, I'm like, I gotta see Nas live.
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna see my number one favorite rapper live because he doesn't perform no more.
Yeah.
That's Scarface, y'all. So, but he doesn't perform no more. So I'm like, look, I gotta get a chance to see Nas live, and that's why I went.
No, I understand that.
But it crazy.
Wasn't.
But hold on, 2014 Forest Hills Drive.
Yeah, no. Didn't cut it for me, man. And you know what? When I came back from Hawaii, I was right around Fayetteville. I played it again.
Trying to see if you got something different.
I was riding around in my homeboy old ass Crown Vic, like I was getting deep into the Fayetteville state of mind, and it just
didn't hit.
No.
And that's fair.
I can't do it, man. Out of all his albums,
That's fair.
that's it. Like, that's the one. And me, maybe because everybody was hyping it up, that's probably the reason why. Then when I got to him, like,
What was the name of the album after that? The one that,
after that one,
yeah,
oh, he went quiet for a while.
the one with Neighbors. What was the name of that album?
For Your Eyes Only.
For Your Eyes Only. That's the only one that I was just like, has no replay value for me.
But see, that one had the replay value.
That's the one that didn't have replay value for me.
That one, and he had KOD.
KOD is my shit though.
KOD is my shit. That's one that nobody really speaks about. I don't know why. But
Well, here's the thing about it. It's just like Kendrick's last album. I love Kendrick to death, but when you bring up Kendrick's discography and you listen to Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, what replay value did it really have?
it got better replay value than The Pimp a Butterfly. Can't stand that album.
That's debatable.
I can't stand that album, man.
Really?
That's one of those albums. This how I look at things. Right?
I gotta hear this.
It's like this, right? Some people
Did
can just
anybody say
become.
anything about that shit?
My boy Mark Brown. I think when it comes to shit like everybody get quiet for a minute, they probably unload. When it comes to certain people, right? I think once they become like a household name, they're gonna always say this motherfucker is dropping heat. It doesn't matter what they do. I'm saying I'm talking to the average person. I'm talking about we actually listen to the music.
We do, yeah.
Yeah,
We do.
we do. But the average person, they just gonna say it's a classic just because it's just Kendrick.
Right.
And that's how 90% of the world is.
But that's how I felt with Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. It's just like,
I didn't say that was his best joint though.
no.
I was saying replay value.
So
I ain't gonna lie. It
so
don't have no replay value.
you're a rapper and
Maybe
I'm a,
two yeah.
is that you're a rapper and I'm a producer.
Yeah.
So I listen to everything from a production standpoint, and that's one of the best produced albums that came out that
I
year.
give you that. Yeah, and that's why if I have any type of replay album, I fuck with that. But the Pimp a Butterfly, he went too far in love. He was going too African with the too many poetry things. I don't know. He was just like, all right, man. I know you trying to try something new,
And
and I get it.
this is what I hate and love about To Pimp a Butterfly. It's one of those CDs you have to listen to in its entirety. You can't break it up.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because if you notice, the poem gets longer as the CD goes along, and the poem's complete on the last track. So if you listen to it in sections, and you're only getting partials of the poem, you're just like, you feel unfulfilled. So I think the only downfall on that album is you have to listen to it in its entirety, and some people just don't have the time.
And I also thought that first time I heard, I was younger.
Okay,
I went back and revisited. I went in the gym. I said, you know what? Got a couple hours in the gym. I'm just gonna just let this shit rock. I couldn't make it. I couldn't do it.
some people can't.
It's just like I don't know. And but the same albums that people are claiming are the classics, like
Are the ones you can't get past.
I can't get past. And one, they don't even play it.
So
I have never heard like no. I mean, I'm talking about on social media. I'm talking about friends. Like nobody replays these albums. Like nobody posts these songs over again.
So
and I was like, so how is these classics?
anybody who knows me knows that Outkast's Aquemini,
Yeah,
to me, is their best album. That's
okay.
just to me.
Yeah, and I ain't gonna argue with you about that.
But here's the thing: anytime I bring up, Outkast in conversation, nobody mentions Aquemini at all.
Okay.
And I'm just like, have y'all not listened to the album?
I know, but see, that's what I was like. You ain't gonna argue me about that though. Okay. I can argue. You can argue AT Aliens or Clementine, whatever.
Right.
I get you. I ain't gonna argue with you. As long as you say it's one of those two. I mean, Southern Playlist of kind
Well,
of like
I'm gonna
music
say,
was
if
that
you
was
say-
their first joint. That was like they reasonable doubt.
If you say anything out of their first 4 albums,
Yeah.
I'm not going
I'm
to
not
debate you.
gonna- yeah.
So anything after Stankonia, if you said like Speaker Box Love Below's
Yeah.
their best album, I'm going to question you.
Question you, yeah. And you just saying shit just to be saying shit.
Right.
Like,
So like, I actually had somebody tell me, I was like, "What's your favorite Outkast album?" They were like, "Greatest Hits."
yeah,
I'm like, "You can't talk music with me.
yeah.
You never put anybody's Greatest Hits as one of the best albums of all time, ever, unless you're talking about Bob Marley's Legend.
Yeah.
That's the only album that's the greatest hits, in my opinion. Mind you guys, this is my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the only album that's a greatest hits, in my opinion, that can be in anybody's top 10.
My boy Mark Brown said, I don't know, say that again. But then you criticize the structure if he didn't do it as a full poem, double-edged sword.
It,
Fuck the poem.
it is a
Everything
double-edged
on the album sucked to me.
Wow.
Yeah, like the production, everything. It just,
Okay, so
I never went. But people that argue about that album, they don't even play the album themselves. So I don't.
I'm not arguing with you about the album. I'm
Because,
just hearing your stance.
because sometimes things are really artsy.
Okay,
And
so
people were like, it's the art. It's the.
That
I'm
makes
like,
sense.
that doesn't mean that it's good. It's like,
that makes sense
Yeah.
because when you listen to an album like what is that, American Gangster by Jay-Z, which everybody hails as a classic,
that wasn't yours?
it was too artsy for me.
What? I think it stuck to what he was doing.
It was way too
It can't
artsy
be
for me.
too artsy if he was doing it for the soundtrack American Gangster that he made a 70s theme album.
All right, so when you listen to the production on that album and compare it to other Jay-Z albums, it's overpolished, overproduced. Lyrically, it's one of his best, but when you listen to the production on that, like the brassiness of Rock Boys, or when you listen to the like dramatics of falling.
Beautiful song. I don't think it's over.
You said it right there. That's a beautiful
It
song.
is.
And art is what?
Well, arts is what you arts is from your perspective.
But it's
You could,
beautiful
we
from
could,
your perspective, correct?
well, yeah, yeah. Look, man. Which album better, American Gangster or Pimp Butterfly?
In my opinion,
Yeah.
To Pimp a Butterfly.
You lying? I know you lying. No way.
To Pimp a Butterfly.
You're just saying that because
No,
it's Kendrick.
no, because no, I'm not
no
saying that because
way.
it's Kendrick. Because I listen to Pimp a Butterfly literally maybe once a week. I can't tell you the last time I dusted off my American Gangster. No, actually I can. It was in January, and that's because I went on a Jay-Z binge.
Okay.
But that's not Jay-Z's worst album.
But you really deep in the music. I'm gonna take it from you. I'm just talking about an average listener.
Oh yeah.
I'd be like,
okay,
well,
so
it's
the
like,
average listener is going to probably pick American Gangster
yeah.
because it's easy
I
to
just
digest.
think it's a well put together album, better than Pimp the Butterfly.
Well, it's easier to digest than To Pimp a Butterfly.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Because here's the thing about To Pimp a Butterfly, I still find new things in it. Almost, 8 years after its release.
Okay.
So I'm still finding Easter eggs in the album.
Oh my God.
No, it's true.
And that's another thing, man. We're gonna talk about this. We're gonna talk
All
one
right.
last day, right? Then we're gonna get off this shit.
Okay.
Right? Everything Kendrick do is not an Easter egg. You probably find out some real joints. But you ever been on like social media, TikTok, and Kendrick would sneeze on the track, and they'd be like, you know why Kendrick sneezed on that part, right? See, that's our African slave that was killed.
Right.
They are ingesting in his body as a virus, and he had to sneeze them out. Like, it ain't that serious, man.
But
Kendrick Lamar is not that. It's
Right.
not everything Kendrick Lamar does.
I'll say one thing and we'll end it there about Kendrick, and we'll go on to the next subject.
Okay.
Just like you said, once white people got to Wu-Tang, it sort of
It became theirs.
tarnished everything, right?
Yeah.
The same thing happened with Kendrick. So, like, once white people began to understand the Damn album,
Yeah, that's a good one. That's
you know
a
what I
good
mean?
album.
No, it's a great album.
Great album.
But
That's
here's the thing. Once it got in the hands of white people,
Yeah.
I've never seen so many white Kendrick fans. Nothing against white people. My girlfriend's white, so.
Yeah. Well, nothing against. I love my white people. Half the people that's watching this, they're gonna be white. I'm just saying, once
Right.
y'all get a hold of something, cause y'all still like, they're like really backpackers. You know what I'm saying? Like they still like the underground and music, and I still do too. But they really, that's all they listen to.
You know the best example of that? MC Hammer's Please Hammer Don't Hurt Him. So once, because when you listen to Hammer's first two albums, Let's Get It Started, and then I forget the demo that he had before that was released. He was, like your quintessential Oakland rapper. You know,
Yeah.
A, B, C, E, F, G, do, you know what I mean? So once white people found out that they can digest that and it wasn't too hard, they gravitated toward him.
Yeah.
Now, name me somebody in hip hop that sold over 10 million albums that didn't, go commercially successful. This was rap's first diamond album.
Oh yeah.
And do you know why?
Without a doubt.
Do you know why?
Why?
It was easily digestible.
I mean, he was having fun too. He was dancing. And,
I used to call it the alphabet soup music. Put some words in, in
Yeah.
your soup. Blah, blah, blah.
I just think because he was just a fun guy. You know what I'm saying? He was dancing and
No, but here's the thing.
NWA
was a-
Gangsta Music was trying to
But yo,
explode out of nowhere.
this was a real street dude, though.
No, I'm not lying. Yeah, he don't ran up on some rappers.
Yeah.
Talk about his baggy pants.
Yo.
Like,
This man put a hit out on MC Search.
Yeah.
What was it, $50,000?
he wasn't playing.
And he had people in the airport looking for him.
Yeah.
They had to sit there and call Hammer's management team, just like, yo, we got a show to do. Can we stop this hit? And MC Hammer was just like,
Man, shout out to Hammer, man. That's that guy.
he doesn't get the credit he deserves.
He doesn't get the credit. Everybody wanted to be Hammer, man. I'm not even gonna knock that.
But what's the next step?
What's the most underrated classic album? Like an album that you felt like is a classic, but nobody giving no praise.
Don't laugh at me when I say this.
No, go ahead. I ain't gonna lie.
I have two albums.
Okay.
Redman's Muddy Waters and Redman's Doctor's the Name 2000.
The second one, I don't know about that one. The first one, Muddy Waters,
Muddy
everybody
Waters.
think that's a classic though.
No.
'Cause that's the only album I would give Redman, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a Redman fan though.
Gotcha.
I'm not a Redman fan.
So
I ain't gonna tell you. I'm not gonna sit up and lie like I know his albums
so
and
like
all that, but I did listen to that one though.
when I talk about classic albums,
Mm-hmm.
and I mention Redman, they're like, nah, fam, that's not it.
Mm-hmm.
But when you really listen to the album, lyrically, not only is it his best album, the replay value almost 30 years later is there.
No, I give you, I mean, Redman lyrically, he always gonna be that guy. I mean, Eminem, that's his role model when it comes to like rhyming.
That's true.
He looked up to Redman, and that's how he found his certain style of the rhyming to be who he is today.
Right.
Redman, but you know the thing about Redman and like Ludacris and like Busta Rhymes, like these super
They're
lyrical
cartoon
guys.
rappers.
Yeah, they animated. You know what I'm saying? And you don't really like they lyrical, but they so animated and cartoonish like nobody want to give them that. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no way that you ain't gonna say Ludacris is somewhere up there in your top 10. But go ahead with what you were saying
The
though.
first time I heard Muddy Waters in its entirety, I was at Job Corps,
Okay.
right? And like in Job Corps, this was back in the age of CD books and
Yeah.
shit like that.
Yeah.
I remember me and this dude named Mike Bowman. We used to switch out CDs. You know,
Yeah.
I had a book of like 200 here, 200 there. He had a book of 300 here, 300 there. We would just like switch out CDs because that's how we killed time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember the first time I heard the Muddy Waters album, I was floored. It was one of those moments that you remember in life, like the first time you had a certain food or the first time you seen a certain person.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I heard Muddy Waters, I was stuck in that room. And he was just like, all right, so let's trade back. I'm like, nah. I'll trade you to keep this CD.
Not yet.
I said, I'll
I'm
trade
not
you.
done with it yet.
I said, I'll trade you to keep this CD, but you give me something else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mark Brown. I'm gonna get to that CD.
What'd he
the
say?
SDE, Cameron, Sex, Drugs, Entertainment. I'm gonna get to that one though.
Is he serious?
Hold on now. Don't do that. That ain't mine, but I'm not gonna argue with him about that.
Wait, what's his name?
Mark Brown.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah.
What up, Mark? We'll talk about it.
We're gonna get on it. Come, no, Mark is gonna be the one I'm gonna call.
Okay.
So just stay by your phone, Mark.
Shout out to Mark.
My album, and still to this day, is gonna be Drag On.
Opposite H2O.
Drag On opposite of H2O. From front to back. Bang. I mean, I don't understand how people that claim they're Rough Rider fans and all that, how y'all missed that one? Like, how,
You know why?
Okay, go ahead.
Because the publications, because remember, we didn't have the internet and shit back then. What's the first thing that you saw?
You saw X?
No.
Saw
no,
Eve?
No, I'm just saying, what's the
Oh.
first thing you saw about the album other than advertisements in the magazines? And I just gave you a hint there.
I don't know. Draw the blank.
Double XL gave the album a medium.
That's crazy to me.
The Source gave it 2.5 mics.
And I don't know why.
But here's the thing about it. That's what we had to go by.
Yeah.
We didn't have the internet. We didn't have streaming.
Yeah.
So when you sing in a publication, it's not worth spending your money on.
Which is so retarded to me because they was pushing him out first, right after DMX. Like, he
Correct.
was the one. Like, you know what I'm
Correct.
saying? All right, you got X, you got
But
Brad
remember, they pushed him back
for
Eve.
For Eve, yeah, for Eve. But then they put them together though.
Correct.
That's why they own each other albums, which is the shit that they do together always wins.
Was top tier.
Was top tier, and I don't give a fuck what anybody say, and they can at me. They can do whatever they want. Dragon was the hardest rapper, the most lyrical rapper out of Rough Rider Camp.
If you hear any of his freestyles now,
Yeah,
he's still sharp
still
as a
crazy.
tack.
He's still crazy with it.
Still sharp as a tack.
But
Now,
but what album? I ain't gonna cut you off. But what album out of the Rough Rider Camp is better than that album? Like, I'm talking all of them.
we're excluding X, right?
Excluding X, you can't do X. No, you can't do X. You can't do X. No.
Other than that,
I'm
there
just-
was one top tier album,
Okay.
and that's The Locks We Are the Street. But here's the thing.
It's a good album.
You really cannot compare The Locks to Drag On because you got 3 sharp lyricists here, Drag On by himself, and Drag On,
Held
that
his
album.
own. But any group album that Rough Riders did and Dragon was on it, he held his damn own. I'm
absolutely.
talking about he went
Here's
crazy.
the thing, though.
Yeah.
Remember, Rough Riders Volume 1 wasn't really selling
That's
when
right.
it came out. But when they put Down Bottom as a single, the ears started getting onto the album.
And they had
Because
Juvenile.
remember, what's the first single that they released on that album?
On let me see, was it the Rough Riders?
Nope. The first single that they released on that album was what
Eve
they want
joint.
was Eve.
Eve
Yeah.
joint, yeah.
And then they released Jigga My Nigga.
Okay. Yeah, that was.
Then they released Down Bottom, and that's when the album saw a 180 in sales.
But as far as video wise, it was Eve and then Down Bottom. As
Correct.
far as video wise,
Correct, because they only released 2
Yeah.
videos from that album.
Yeah.
Because Jigga My Nigga didn't have a video because Jay-Z was
they
busy.
did do the Rough Rider because them niggas in jail, rapping in a jail cell.
But yeah, that was straight to
Yeah,
DVD.
that was-
That was a straight to DVD video.
Gotcha.
So
But the two that did make it was Eve, What I Want, and definitely Down Bottom. Now, single wise, it was Jigga My Nigga.
Right. Now, do you know The Way Life Is on Drag On's
Yeah.
album? Not because Case was on the hook, is one of my favorite introspective songs.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the thing about Drag On's album is it took you there. Like the opening single, Opposite of H2O, when you hear Swiss Beats just whisper, light the match, you're like, oh my God, like, I have so many good
Y'all niggas
memories.
looking for that fire? The way Dragon was talk, the way he talks is.
I have so many good memories to that CD.
Me too. Like when it comes to like me trying to memorize an album and punchlines, Dragon had it, man.
Oh yeah,
And I
absolutely.
just didn't understand. You know, everybody gonna put Jadakiss over everybody. I'm like, Jadakiss don't have a classic album like Dragon do to me. I don't have a classic album from Jadakiss because Jadakiss kind of went mainstream real fast. So his albums went mainstream.
All right, so nah, I can't do Kiss like that. Shout out to Kiss, but
Give me a classic album, Kiss got. I'm talking about front to back.
Kiss the Game Goodbye, easy.
Front to back.
Kiss the Game Goodbye, easy. Easy.
Front to back.
Front to back. The rest of his albums, like Jadakiss, what has 8 albums?
Yeah.
The rest of his albums,
Yeah.
you know, like don't have the replay value that Kiss the Game Goodbye has.
Okay.
Because Kiss the Game Goodbye had something that appealed to everybody. The New York niggas, the down south, the West Coast, so on and so on. Jadakiss wasn't afraid to work with anybody.
Yeah.
And the album was very, very consistent, especially for a debut.
Okay. Yeah.
But here's the thing. Once Jay got too comfortable, the albums became lackluster.
That's true.
So, like, easily top 5 dead or alive, as he says, but you can't be top 5 dead or alive if you only have one album out of 8 that has full replay value.
Gotcha. So you got Redman.
Absolutely.
I got Dragon.
Absolutely.
MC2.
For those who haven't heard the Muddy Waters album, that's where I always tell people to start with Redman.
Okay. What's your top 5 albums?
Of all time?
Maybe not of all time.
Or just
Just
hip-hop
like-
albums, right? Strictly,
We'll just keep
strictly
it straight.
hip-hop?
Yeah.
Okay, so...
That not the obvious though.
Ooh.
Because you know what I'm saying? See that's what
No
a trick.
no Illmatic, no The Diary.
That's what a trick. See that's the trick of the question. And, you know what I'm saying? We gonna name of course we got those.
All right, so how about we say this? The top 5 albums that people might not have heard. Because if I say something like Illmatic, which is...
Okay.
You know,
I got
like,
it, yeah.
So I want to say Midnight Marauders by a Tribe Called Quest.
Okay.
I
This
wasn't
is-
prepared
this
for
is-
this, 'cause
this is
I was
through
doing top 5.
This is through
All right,
3.
so
This
Midnight
is through
Marauders
3.
by a Tribe Called Quest. I mentioned this earlier. And My Brother's Keeper by Cain and Abel. That's like the No Limit Smorgasbord.
Okay.
And I have to name one more. Why don't we go with... I feel like I'm taking too much time here.
No, you good. And to everybody that's looking on, we ain't talking about like everybody's top 5. We talking about like, man, this shit that I feel like should be top 5. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is your personal favorite.
Okay, why don't we go with Me Against the World by Pac?
Okay. Yeah, nobody talks about that one. All right.
So, Midnight Marauders, Me Against the World. What the fuck did I say was number 3?
I don't think you did 3 yet.
Yeah, I did. I said Midnight Marauders. I named the second album. And then I said Me Against the World. What the fuck did I just say?
Oh, it was a No Limit joint. It was.
And My Brother's Keeper
My
by
Brother's
Cain
Keeper.
and Abel.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Nelly Country Grammar. Classic.
No, I'm joking.
I don't care anybody's a classic. It got him to where he is today.
We'll talk about that in a second.
That Nelly
Just
Country Grammar.
put a pin right there.
Okay,
We'll talk about it. Put a pin right there. We'll talk about it.
Nelly Country Grammar. Damn sure it was a classic that nobody don't want to admit to. They don't want to give it that.
Oh, I'm not debating that at all.
Okay. I'm gonna go Eve.
Rough Riders First Lady?
First Lady, yeah. I'm gonna go that one. Front to back, to me, nobody really speaks about it. You know, Mark Brown, College Dropout is a class for everybody. We going like classes like.
I'm not debating that Eve album.
Yeah, nobody really.
Scenario 2000 goes. Listen, DMX, Drag On,
Yeah.
Eve. That song goes hard.
Crazy.
The song Let's Talk About with Drag On
I don't want to talk about
goes insanely hard, and that's
it's crazy.
Another good album opener.
Yeah.
Love Is Blind. Jesus, I can go on all day with that.
Yeah. And I think that's one of them albums like people don't think about it till they go back and listen to it. They be like, God damn, this shit was crazy.
Yeah,
that shit was crazy as hell. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
when you revisit
when you really like, God damn. Like, you know, what's up?
Like I said, I revisited Nelly's Sweat and Suit album.
Okay. And
we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. Because I think we need to talk about Nelly more.
Let's do
in
that.
hip hop.
But
we'll go over that. Yeah.
Name your third.
Yeah. Okay. What's say I got? Boom.
Hard to do a third. Isn't
That third one's gonna be crazy. Oh damn, that third one. I'm glad I dropped it down to 3.
Right.
I'm gonna go Big Sean.
Which one?
Finally Famous.
Okay.
I'm gonna go that first album.
Okay.
These the albums are like set in stone for these artists.
Yeah.
But nobody really goes back and say like these like you know what I'm saying? Like
right.
these that album was go ahead.
Cohesive list. Let's go back to the pen.
Miseducation Laurel Hill is a class for everybody. Mark Brown.
Yeah, that is a classic for everybody.
Eternal 99, both that's cheating. That's regular. But go ahead.
Here's the thing though. I think the albums that we named are albums that are like worth revisiting.
Yes.
Because a lot of people don't sit there and they're just like, okay, was this album a classic? Let me go back and
hey, maybe we should just put it like that.
All right, yeah. Albums
worth revisiting.
There we go.
Bet.
But let's go back to Nelly.
Okay.
So when you said Country Grammar, I'm just like, I agree because here's the thing. I bought Country Grammar late because remember the first single was Country Grammar and it was just too sing-songy for me. I'm just like, nah, this is like nursery rhymes. I can't do this.
Okay.
So when I went back and finally bought the album like 4 months later, the album was jamming. Like the track "Loving
It's
Me."
a good run.
You know,
it's a good run.
What was the name of that one with Lil Wayne? This is for my nigga.
Yeah, this is for my nigga. Yeah, keep it in time. That fuck up the first night. Yeah.
And then when I first heard "Batter Up" with the Jefferson sample, I was just like, yo. Like, I felt bad for sleeping on that album for so long.
And he ended with, without ever loving me.
Yeah, I mentioned that. I just mentioned that.
Like, it's like, oh, man, they put together
a cohesive album.
Cohesive
and the track listing was key.
Structured.
And that's what I was talking about with an earlier CD I was talking about with, which one was it? Not All Eyes on Me, but Life After Death.
Yeah.
How the track list was just like all over the place.
Yeah.
But when you listen to Nellyville, like you can hear a little bit of the commercialism, but you can tell that's a CD he really wanted to release.
And he stayed with his style.
Exactly.
That's what I like. Even with the beat, the production on it, I think he threw Pharrell on it a couple of times. But as far as like him keeping that St. Louis production style, how they sound, when he's a man, that was on the St. Louis style. But anyway, you get what I'm saying though.
But even the song "Work It" with Justin Timberlake, I was just like. Because when I saw Justin Timberlake's on the album, I'm like, nah, fam, what are we doing? And then when you heard the track, you're just like, I got you.
And to end it, he dissed Karis.
The Rock the Mic remix. He said one. He said, oh God, how do you word it? He's like, K, nobody here even said your name. R, you really must be mad about something, man. S.
I was like, out of all people, Nelly.
But do you know why?
I don't know the backstory about it. I think he might have.
The backstory is remember KRS-One has a song called, I'm Still Number One. That was released with BDP, Boogie Down Productions, for those who don't know. So when Nelly released the song number one for the Training Day soundtrack, KRS-One looked at it as, yo, this man's really coming for my title. This
Yeah.
man's really coming for a diss. So KRS-One made a very, very lackluster diss against Nelly.
Because he think that Nelly was
Cause, right.
lackluster.
So he was just like, nah, you know, Nelly wasn't going to respond. But every interview that Chris got on, he would just be like, yo, I got a top 10,
Yeah.
I got a top 10 disc for every rapper in the top 10, woo, woo, woo. And Nelly's number one. I'm going to show him who's number one. It got to the point where Nelly really couldn't ignore it and literally shut him down.
Nelly people.
And the thing about it is, he went at a legend, swung the Excalibur, and won.
I know. That's
That's the crazy part about it.
And you gotta give him that respect, man.
He swung the Excalibur and won.
Yep. That's you gotta put we need to speak about Nelly more.
Even if you watch the Beef 2 DVD, yes, I said DVD, y'all.
Yeah, the come up DVD, all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm showing my age here. But even when you watch the Beef 2 DVD, even KRS-One was just like, yo, he got me.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do about that.
And on top of that, like I said, last week I revisited Sweat and Suit, and I'm like, why aren't I listening to this more?
Yeah.
Because the thing about it is, Nelly has flow. His flow is unmatched. Sometimes he has bars. But the thing about it is, he's always going to give you a damn good song.
Yes.
He's always going to make sure you get your money's worth with your album. Granted, I did not listen to his country album.
Yeah. But he a fly nigga, you know what I'm saying? Like, he fly. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just wasn't a corny.
Right.
A corn. Everybody, people try to put the cornball thing on. Like,
but
no,
you couldn't.
He got Ashanti. I don't know.
You couldn't.
I don't know what I want to say.
And then on top of that, he's an entertainer.
Yes.
Not only does he rap, he sings. He could put together a hook.
Yep.
Like, you're a dope-ass entertainer. And give me a list of who he can't work with.
Could he work with everybody?
Exactly.
And once Jay-Z mentioned your name, like, you there.
Like, Jay-Z did mention him.
Yeah.
He's the only
The
dudes
people-
moving units is
Him,
Pimp Juice and us. Jesus.
Is there rock in here? That's all he needed to hear.
No, but the thing about it was, at that time, who was really moving units? Jay-Z, Nelly, and
Yeah, because
of course,
DMX kind of got into his, the whole drug thing and all that. He wasn't really producing like that.
DMX is one of my saddest hip-hop stories.
Yes.
Because, and I'm not trying to trail off subject here, guys. The reason why he's my saddest hip-hop story is because the thing about it is, you came out on 4321 on LL's track. That's your proper debut.
Yeah.
And who are you rhyming with? Red and Meth,
Yeah.
Cannabis, LL Cool J, and on the remix,
P.
Master P.
Yeah.
And that's one of Master P's most underrated verses. The thing about it is, a lot of people.
We're not gonna get into that.
No. Let me just say this on the record. A lot of people don't know P held his own with rap heavyweights.
Yes. His style, his way.
Oh man.
His way.
But
That's what I like.
going back to the initial subject, the thing about it is DMX came out on the brightest track with lyricism.
Yeah.
Released his album, and the thing about it was Def Jam undershipped that album because they didn't think it was going to sell that much.
Okay.
So, for those who was there in May '98, and you went to the CD store and couldn't find this CD, and you were upset, that's Def Jam's fault because this guy was a star.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, what happened 7 months later? He released another number one album, and what happened 6 months after that? He started working on it, and then there was X.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you had a guy with the brightest star. He just had demons. And I always say, when you get in the industry, you need friends.
Yeah.
That's going to be like, yo, cut this shit out for a little bit. This is what we got to focus on. A lot of people have a way of fumbling the bag.
Yeah.
Like Ja Rule was the same way. If Ja Rule would not have listened to Irv Gotti about the whole, let's release a whole album that's going to diss 50 Cent, the whole Blood in My Eye, which was a misstep in his discography.
Yeah.
Ja would have been bigger than what he's supposed to. You know, all Ja Rule had to do with 50 Cent was ignore him.
Yeah. And then 50 Cent wouldn't be 50 Cent either.
Exactly.
Because that's what he fed off that whole Ja Rule coming back with, oh yeah, I'm about to get his ass now type shit. But
That's for another podcast.
Yeah, I got you. But we need a. I'm glad we did an honorable mention with Nelly.
Oh God,
He definitely needed to be mentioned in the hip hop.
Oh, absolutely.
Mark Brown, the War Report by Capone Noriega. That's definitely one.
Mark.
That's definitely one.
Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's definitely one.
Yeah.
I give you that one.
Mark.
When I go back and revisit that shit all the time, I'm like, damn, that shit was goddamn crazy.
Capone Bone?
Yeah,
that's my shit. Mark, good job.
That had the first Bloody Money on it too.
Yeah, Mark, good job on that one.
That's dope. I fuck with you, Mark. On that one. All
listen.
right, okay, Mark, you about to be up in a minute, my guy.
Hey.
Next topic.
I'm excited for this, actually.
All right, man. Look, Pusha T and Jim Jones, they going back and forth.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I have no idea why. Okay, but
that story's a little cloudy.
It's a little cloudy. But I mean, I'm thinking that it's steered from Jim Jones saying that Pusha T is not in his top. It's not top.
That's
50.
where it stemmed from.
Right, I know that's where it stemmed from, and then Pusha T gonna get a little attitude, whatever. And then he's gonna try. And then he dropped. I don't know, but you know everything that Pusha T dropped after that, they think it was towards Jim Jones. I don't know, but it was a good track with him and Malice on it, right? The clips had jumped back together to did a track. I fuck with that track. When people said it was about Jim Jones responded like he should, and he killed it. Me personally, everybody thought Jim Jones gonna be knocked out the box or whatever, but that's Jim Jones, my nigga. He's from Harlem, nigga. He came up around Cameron.
I will say his flow on the track.
Yeah, that's Jim Jones, man. I don't know why. This is what I hate. This is what I hate, man. Pusha T got one W. He got one W. Let's be real here, okay? Pusha T.
You think so?
Yes. And this is what I'm saying. He got one W off the Drake, right? Now, all of a sudden, he's in everybody top 10. All of a sudden.
Pusha's always been in my top 50.
He's definitely top 50. Me, as a fan, he's lyrical. Look, I fuck with Pusha T, man. Outstanding rapper. He's lyrical. He everything, man. I'm not saying that. But if I have to put him up, he's not going to be no higher than in the 50s or the 40s to me. But let me get to the point real quick. Let me get back to what I was saying.
Go ahead.
This Pusha T has been dissing Cash Money for like 10 years, 10, 12, 13, and nobody paid attention to him. What is the beef about? Whatever. Nobody cared about what Pusha T was saying.
Do you know why he was dishing Cash Money, though?
What is his reason why he was dishing Cash Money?
Because remember the track "What Happened to That Boy" that was released on Baby's album? The thing about it was they were supposed to get residuals.
Okay.
Baby pocketed all that, so that was their biggest hit at the time.
Okay. Yeah, it was.
So it was just like, that's very disloyal. So when he went in the interview saying that's disloyal, so on and so on, what happened? Lil Wayne started popping shots at the clips. Malice just retired from rap, so Pusha's been going at this alone. So what ended up happening is, of course, Wayne has people under him. Drake's one of the people. Drake started throwing shots, and we all know Drake's back history.
I just don't think. I don't think nobody was throwing shots at Pusha till he just randomly started. No, it's not. It's not random.
I was about to say it wasn't random.
It was towards Baby and them. Period. I get it. Baby and Wayne, I got it. The money thing, I got it. But everybody else like, why are you coming at me? Like, I don't give a fuck what you doing. So I know Pusha T gonna shoot at everybody in the team. But think about it.
Do you know why Wayne was strategic in that? Wayne said, "This guy's not even on my level. I'm gonna let my minions get at this dude."
But Drake didn't even pay. Drake really wasn't really paying attention to him either. I just think nobody was paying attention to him.
Well, no, because when you look at the song Exodus, where
that's when everybody's ears popped up.
When you look at the song Exodus, where I forget what Drake said on the track, but it was aimed towards Pusha T, and like Pusha T said something like to the fact of Drake, this isn't with you. I have no problem with you. This is towards your boss, and like what happens with a Chihuahua when you walk in the yard. There's a Doberman in the back, but the Chihuahua wants to bite your legs, right? Yeah. So what ended up happening is Drake kept on going. So
I don't think Drake kept going though.
it's on his track record.
I got to revisit that.
I forget what
I
song
don't.
it
I
is.
don't remember too many songs of Drake going after
I
Pusha
got.
T like that.
I hate to be on my phone during
I
the
think he
podcast.
responded. I think he responded to Pusha T when he throw shots, but I don't think they really waste their time with Pusha T. Pusha T wasn't nobody to waste your time with, and I think people got to admit that. And that's the. All of a sudden, he gets that W off of Drake because he, for one reason, Pusha T did the foulest shit in the world to get all that stupid ass information to win that battle. That's the only way Pusha T was going to win that anything against Drake, and everybody knows that. So he had to get deep, dig deep, get the, he had a baby out there and all that. He had to go that deep to win that battle. For 15 years, wasn't nobody even paying it. He wasn't worth wasting your time on. And everybody out there but they have to admit that Pusha T was not nobody to waste their time on.
That's true.
Until recently. Now all of a sudden he got that W over Drake, and all of a sudden he's somebody like, oh, you don't fuck with Push. For the last 15 years he's been dissing the same, making diss songs, and nobody even bat an eye.
But I'm not going to disagree with that.
I hate that. Like,
I'm not going to disagree with that. But here's the thing about it is, like, there's a lot of people that call Push out. Coke rap is dead, this, that, and the third, so on and so on. When you really think about it, Push really doesn't bother anybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He really doesn't bother anybody. You have people like Drake who will call out anybody on a track, and he knows nobody's going to respond because Drake is Drake.
Yeah.
I give Pusha T credit for going, what I call in the sandlot and hitting a home run. You can't hate that.
I hate it.
Because Drake drops a lot of subliminals. You got to be honest about that.
He do. He's like Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? He's going to drop his subliminals. But at the end of the day, man, yeah, all of a sudden he's not that dude. He gets before he got that real W, he dropped what, Daytona? Was it Daytona, right?
Daytona, yeah.
Okay, what about 7-track joint?
Yeah, 7-track. That's when Ye was doing the 7
Yeah,
tracks.
the 7-track for everybody. Good joint, man. Good joint. I'm not knocking it. I just think he just gotta, he started feeling himself. But really, the beef was with Kanye at that point. It wasn't even Drake wasn't even paying attention to Pusha.
Correct.
But just like with the Wayne and the
that's what I was about to say.
So everybody's like, "Oh no, that's my nigga. I'm gonna go." You know what I'm saying? I get it.
Everybody's sitting in the Chihuahuas.
Y'all got to stop acting like. Y'all got to start acting like Pusha T was somebody to waste their time with back in the day. Nobody, give me a classic Pusha T album. I mean, I'm talking about from back then. I'm talking about I ain't talking about
there was no
when
classic.
he finally found his.
There was no classic Pusha T album because he was releasing with the clips.
Yeah,
and Hell Hath No Fury is a classic album.
It is a classic album. But who plays it like replay value? You got to think that deep into the whole. I'm not a big fan of a whole production of Pharrell.
Gotcha.
I'm not a big fan of a whole production of one producer. Or one
Gotcha. No,
that's my thing.
That makes sense.
So the album is a classic, but I can't stomach it too much because the same.
You can only do it in small dosages.
Yeah. I'm like that with all producers.
Gotcha.
Even my favorite ones.
Gotcha.
So, that's my thing. And you're right, D. Yeah, I mean, he got a sick flow.
Who, talking about Pusha?
Yeah, talking about Pusha. I mean, you can check for him. You can't check for Pusha T.
Oh, absolutely.
He caught the W off Drake because he went behind the scenes, paid money. He got all that dirt to win that battle. He wasn't gonna beat Drake after that.
You know what's funny? He was just in the room. A lot of people don't realize that. It's not the fact that people were talking to him about what was going on. He just happened to be in the right place at the right time.
You right.
That's all it was.
You think so?
Oh,
Damn, he got a baby. Then what else? He got?
Yeah, exactly.
Who the baby from?
Exactly.
Oh, shit, the porn star. What's up?
Like,
and he just ranked all that. Damn, his producer got scoliosis. Whatever the fuck that nigga got. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I got
MS.
it. Yeah,
he got MS. And the thing about it was, he was just at the right place at the right time. He just says, "Look, I overheard all this information. I asked somebody what they were talking about. They told me."
As soon as he heard it, he was like,
"Exactly,
got that nigga."
Exactly. Like,
and he went crazy. I'm like, oh, like, you know, it's like, oh.
Imagine you hearing some salacious shit about me.
Yeah.
Right? And right now we're feuding, right? You hear some salacious shit about me. The first thing,
especially if I think you're unstoppable.
Exactly. So you got. That's what I was about to say. He's at the top of the mountain right
Yeah,
here, right?
yeah. And
This is my chance to
'cause
kick you off.
he
And
was the good boy. He couldn't do no wrong. But you're
exactly.
hiding a baby. When he said that shit, I was like,
yeah.
oh, hold on.
said-
He said, you're playing border patrol. I said,
But-
God damn, this nigga going crazy.
In a way, I do respect what Push did because Drake didn't have to bring his wife into it or his fiance into it.
It was a slight bar. It wasn't that serious.
But
That was his excuse though.
that's like me
They go
talking about
crazy.
that's like me
Yeah.
talking about your child.
Yeah, but it's like it's
Well, not me talking
no,
about your
but
child.
I'm not. I agree with you, but it was a slight diss. But that was just that's all he needed.
Because you know,
that's all he needed. Yeah.
in the art of war, there are certain things that are off limits. Like I'm not going to mention who you're sleeping with. I'm not going to mention your children, so on and so on. So when Drake did this, and like you said, he's untouchable. It's just like, yo, I got something for your ass.
Yeah.
It got so bad that Jay Prince had to get involved. Just like, yo, like.
So I'm gonna catch my homegirl D up. Yeah, him and Jim Jones is going back for Pusha T and Jim Jones, but everybody is already saying that Jim Jones is out. He's going to lose. I'm saying no. This is before I call my boy Mark Brown on Pusha T. I'm going to explain to you why I believe you cannot beat Jim Jones. Right? Not that Pusha T is not better than him lyrically. You can't beat Jim Jones because all his dirt is already out there, people.
Correct.
He's been on reality shows for the last
What,
15 years. We know his dirt. You know what I'm saying? What Jim Jones can't dig up anything else towards Jim Jones. We already know. You know what I'm saying? We know about what's his old lady? What's the old lady? Christy? Yeah, the one he still ain't married her yet, but we know about her past, who she was back in Miami before they met. Like we know everything.
We know that he was a backup dancer for Cameron for a little bit.
Yeah. Like we know everything. It's no denying it. You know what I'm saying? So it's
and you know the best way to describe that? What I call Papa Doc theory.
okay. Yes. Yeah.
Remember when Eminem told everything about himself in 8 Mile and then he was just like, here, tell the audience something they don't know about me?
Yeah.
It's Papa Doc theory.
Because that's the only way he beat Drake.
Exactly.
He
Because
told us something we didn't know. Yeah.
We didn't know this shit. You know what I mean? But with Jim Jones doesn't have a checkered past.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when his house got foreclosed, when he was bad with the money and everything, when the cars got repoed, guess what? We all saw it. So Pusha T was just like, your cars got repoed. Tell us something we don't know. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna call Mark Brown right now. Mark Brown, I'm about to call you right now, my guy. He's straight from the DMV area.
Word.
You.
I ain't your time to shine, nigga.
What's up?
Everybody on the show, man. It's my boy Mark Brown. He's also producing Crow Music 3 for me on my album, man. He got a B-Side studio in Fayetteville, North Carolina, man. I'll put his info on my page after the show. But he's from the DMV. We've been arguing for the last 3 days about this goddamn Pusha T guy. And he has some good facts. And I understand you're going to ride for your DMV area. I understand that.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that.
But
Don't do that.
give me your side, man. Give me what you think. Give me what you think.
This is what I'm gonna say. Like, cause the argument, I guess, it's kind of like mixed up. Because I think you thinking that I'm just saying that like Pusha T is just like this great rapper. That's not what I'm saying. He is a great rapper, but like top 50 solidified in my eyes.
Okay. Gotcha.
So like the comment that Jimmy made saying that he wasn't top 50, like I told you the other night, he could have when asked about Pusha T, he could have just been like, oh, buddy, straight, and then just kept it moving. So in my eyes, I feel like it's intentional, and it's because of like the whole Pusha T thinking that Jimmy won a Drake feature, and now he's trying to prove himself to Drake somehow.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
But let's not forget, right? Like a couple of guys, you know, they're gonna stay nameless for this, but we know who they are. Went up against Pusha T, called him out, and like my man said, like Push don't go looking for this. He just like nobody knows, like you said, nobody's checking for Pusha T. Leave him the fuck alone. He in like the fashion space and all that good shit, right? But then somebody call him out, and then he obliterates them, and like you were like, oh, Jimmy's dirt is already aired. Well, you thought the same thing about Drake. You thought the same thing about Drake. Push has got this way of like finding the dirtiest
Yeah, but
undiscoverable laundry.
Yeah, but the difference,
these niggas got.
I didn't think that about Drake though. See, the difference between Drake and Jim Jones, Drake's life was way more private than Jim Jones' life, and in the sense of Jim Jones is already on reality shows, even through his music. Cameron even put him out there. Like Cameron put his dirt out there. Reality shows, Christine, like everybody put his dirt out there. But it came to Drake. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Which is exactly why I don't discount the fact that you got to think about the diplomats, right? Where are all them niggas at? All of them, other than Cam and Jim, right? Yeah. So been quiet for some years because the fallout of Dipset was really bad. It ain't that public, but it was really bad. And a few of them niggas spoke out, like 40 Cal, J.R. Ryder, and then I seen the thing the other day, it was like Jimmy trying to hire J.R. Ryder to fight this battle for him and shit. But like there's a whole bunch of them that hell Rel. All of these niggas that fell out with Jim got dirt. They got dirt. They probably wanted to put it in songs. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
Like,
I got you.
And for a price, like you just don't know. But I will give Jimmy his credit. The block joint that he did. But I think that's the best of Jim lyrically. Like I've been listening to Jim Jones for a long time, bro.
We all
you didn't like his last 2 albums?
He gets. I'm not saying I don't. You know, I told you.
We talked about that. Yeah.
But when it comes down to like this type of thing, like. He's been up against dudes where you'd be like, yo, they're gonna eat Pusha T, right? And that's not the case. I'm telling you right now, like lyrically, he's not on that level. On some street shit, Jimmy all day. But like just battle rap.
I don't think Pusha T got that many wins though. I think he got the one W
against Drake.
What?
Against Drake. That's because every time Pusha T was dissing over the years, nobody wasted their time and paying any attention to it. He got that outstanding dirt. He got that good dirt. You know that good dirt that gets stuck in your shoes when he got that good dirt. Once he got that good dirt, then he was like, oh, I got this.
Again, right place.
Okay, but is it fair to say? Okay, so would you say then that the Drake and Pusha T? Well, first off, would you acknowledge Drake as being like the king in hip hop right now?
Yes.
Okay. So if this is the only individual that has defeated the king,
I'm not arguing with you.
Right? Because ain't nobody else trying Drake like that. The other person that did it ran away from the battle, and that was Meek.
Wait, who was that?
Oh, it was Meek Mill.
Meek Mill.
All right, so
he got obliterated. He got obliterated.
Hold
on, Mark. Hold on. Go ahead.
You know who else called? You know who else called Drake out? And Drake asked for a few features. Jigga.
Yeah,
that's a little different though. That's like I think that's like big brother, little brother type shit because they always do that. Yeah, go ahead.
And that would be like Drake asking Ye for a fucking feature. You know what I'm saying? Like them niggas. I don't count them to like that. But I'm talking like modern, still relevant to the youth, like in a major way. Like
Brett has a point though.
That's friendly fire though. But Jay-Z and Drake, that's
Brett has a point though.
What's up?
Who really knocked Drake off the mountain?
No, yeah, it's
now you ain't gonna knock him off the map.
He caught the W though.
Because listen, Drake fans are like Beyonce's fans. You don't fuck with the Hive. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I got braids now, nigga.
That's certified lover boy. Hey,
nah, go ahead.
I'm gonna pretend I didn't.
Yeah,
fool, bro. Hey, that's how they write. Like this dude could do no wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it don't matter. Oh, he got a illegitimate baby
from a porn star.
That's cool. All right, we don't care. When the next Drake tape.
Yeah, but that was shocking though. That was shocking though.
It was.
That was.
Drake
can get any female on this earth, and he ended up getting a porn star pregnant. I stepped back. I was disappointed. I said, "Come on, man."
I don't want to segue away from Pusha T. But since you said that, it's so crazy because
that's very salacious.
The nigga learned his lesson, started putting Tabasco sauce in the rub.
They was killing Drake after that though for a minute.
That's very salacious.
But you know, man, hey, thanks for calling, man. I definitely understand your side though. I'm not saying just like you said. I think we just kind of misunderstood each other. You're not saying he's the greatest rapper. You saying like, oh, he definitely top 50.
But and I'll give you that. I give you that. He's gonna eat Jim.
Yeah, I don't know if he's gonna eat Jim though. I don't believe that.
Listen. I ain't rich, but I'll put fucking 5 to 5 on for you and any of your listeners that want to bet that at the end of this, Pusha T will be victorious.
I think the Drake win was his. I think that's the best of Push. That's me. That's all he can do.
Only one way to find out.
There's only one way to find out, but he has so much dirt on Drake, the good dirt. When I talk about that good dirt now, we ain't talk about that sand. That nigga had good dirt.
Only one way to find out.
Yeah. After dissing him for 15 years. But hey man, enjoy your night, man. You know, you can always call back when you continue to watch the show, man. You want to jump on about another subject, man. But thanks though, bro.
All right, my brother.
I hit you up. Yep.
Peace.
I mean, yeah, you heard it from DMV native himself. You know what I'm saying? He ain't saying that he's the greatest rapper, but Pusha T got bars.
But here's the thing, though. Would you say Jim Jones is top 50?
I give him 50. But as I think about it, I don't know 49 people in front of him yet.
In front of Jim Jones?
Yeah, no. You talking about Jim Jones?
Yeah, I said, do you think Jim Jones is top 50?
He probably 50.
We'll
but see, now we got to think about 49 rappers, though.
Oh, I can think of 49 rappers off top.
Better than Jim. We ain't even doing now.
Better than Jim.
And what about Pusha T?
What about Pusha T? Pusha T's easily top 50. Easily top 30. But this is just a matter of opinion.
Jim Jones will be 49.
You think so?
Yeah. But
we'd have to do a list, so.
Where you rank Wayne? We're gonna go through this next subject real fast. Where you rank Wayne?
I hate to say this, but Wayne is easily top 10, and we know how I feel about Wayne.
Okay, I got you, man. We're gonna save that for another episode, man. He's not my top 10, but I think his mixtapes kind of fogged y'all vision, your ears a little bit when it comes to Wayne. But cause you think about a versus battle. If you take the mixtapes out of it,
if you take the mixtapes out of it, and we're just going off of studio albums, that drops them down a lot of notches.
Okay, that's all I want to hear. That's all I want to hear.
When you got albums like "I Am Not a Human Being" Part 1 and 2, Rebirth.
Yeah, and a lot of those mixtapes he was rapping on beats that was already hot.
Somebody else.
That's why I don't count those. But
like, don't get me wrong.
That's my nigga though.
Wayne is.
That's my nigga though.
Here, but if we were to take out mixtapes and you were to do, like I said, those albums plus 500 Degrees plus Lights Out,
you think he win against 50? 50 Cent?
Yeah, I do. Because here's the thing about 50 though. Does 50 really have the hits that we think he does?
Do Wayne really have the hits that we think he does?
Wayne does.
He got a lot of features.
I was saying Wayne does, because here's the thing. A lot of times on verses, somebody's using features and shit like that. So, like, when you think about Diplomats versus, what's it called? The Lox. Mm-hmm. One of the knockout hits was Honey by Mariah Carey, Banned from TV by Noriega. They were using a lot of features that they were on. Mm-hmm. And the thing about it was, I'm not certain how the versus rules should really work, but I think you should go by your own catalog.
I think Wayne does rank high. He's just not in my top 10.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying in general, he's in top 10.
He's definitely top 20. You know,
in general, he's top 10.
I grew up with the nigga, you know what I'm saying?
Wayne is not in my top 10.
Yeah. He's not in my top 10, though. He's not.
Believe it or not, Wayne's not in my top 50.
Well, I don't know about that.
No, I'm just saying in my.
Hold up.
In my top 50. No,
Do you put Pusha T in your top 50?
I did put Pusha in my top 50.
How can you put... That don't make no sense. Come on now.
Name me a bad Pusha T album. Name me a bad Clips album.
I don't know a good Pusha T album other than Daytona.
Stop it. It's Almost Dry was Rap CD of the Year, in my opinion, last year.
Just because he was a household name at that point. Listen to me, people. You get programmed. You get programmed, my brother. That's what the industry does. That album was not better than Daytona. It's just the fact that he caught the W off motherfucking Drake. Now all of a sudden, everything he drops, everybody like, oh yeah, that's the rap album of the year.
Stop it.
No, it's not.
And it's like I said. I mean, like you heard me mention Kendrick earlier.
Yeah.
And how it was just like Mr. Morale and a Big Stepper is not.
We're not putting Push over Wayne though. We're not doing that.
I am. No, you said we aren't doing it. I'm doing it.
No, I'm telling you, me and you are not doing that.
You don't have to. I am.
We're not doing that. Pusha T over Wayne?
Yes, I am saying
he's not.
I am saying push over Wayne.
I'm not doing that.
I am. And I'll say it on camera. I'm doing that.
Oh, my God. Nah, I ain't doing that.
Hell, I'll even put Fiend.
But you said Wayne.
I'll put Fiend over Wayne.
Okay. All right. Oh, no. All right. Calm down. Oh, you did.
I said I'll put Fiend over Wayne.
I'm not taking that from you. You better take that back now.
No, man, I can't take it back. Mr. Sleepy Eye Jones.
Mr. Womp Womp, that's what you put number one.
Yes.
You are putting. Hold on, bro. You are putting
Yes,
Mr.
I
Womp
am.
Womp over.
Yes.
Oh my god, man, that's crazy, man. We shooting guns on that one, bro. That we're not doing that. No, we're not doing that.
Yes, I am.
No, we're not doing that.
Yes, I am.
All right.
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on.
No, hold on. What? You're not going to do anything to put. You're not going to do anything to put Mr. Womp Womp over goddamn Wayne. You're not doing that. You can't put Mr. Womp Womp over Wayne. Hold on. Don't play it. It will cut it. But yeah, you get tagged. But don't even do that. We're not doing that.
I'm doing it.
To put Mr. Womp Womp over. We're not doing that, buddy.
I'm doing that.
All right. We got Deal. We got my homegirl Deal on the line. Thank you for this. Your first time joining on too. Hey, what you feel about 50-50 relationship? We're not talking about like what we got going on now. This in general. This in life. Like
okay,
as
so
a man.
Like us having rent and shit like that.
Yeah. Just as a man. Yeah. This is how you feel about it.
I have no problem with it because here's the thing: a lot of women, they're raised with the ideology of, like my grandfather took care of the house, he did this, he did that, so on and so on and so on. You got to understand that's when rent was $200.
Shit, it was project rent.
Yeah,
it was like $25 a month.
My granddad did this, did that, so on and so on. Did your granddad go through inflation? Did your granddad have a damn $600 car payment?
Yeah, sure did.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And everybody's like, well, we make more money now, so on and so on. No, we don't. You got to understand. At that time, what hasn't changed in about 30 years?
What hasn't changed? Oh, you just saying.
Think about
like,
it.
It's everything changed. Just like Mark Brown said, Grandma stayed at the crib.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But you could afford to do that back in those
Right.
days.
Here's the thing, though. Do you know the median average in the United States that it costs to live by yourself? What you have to make?
What's that?
65,000.
Yeah,
65,000 plus
that
to be
is
sustainable.
And that is a good job.
And that's what I'm saying.
And everybody don't get those jobs.
To be sustainable.
Yeah.
And this is a question that I just asked that, warrants an answer. What hasn't changed in over 30 years? Think about it. Want to know the answer? Minimum wage.
Yeah.
Minimum wage is $7.25. Do you know how much a degree deodorant is at Walmart? $7.65. You mean I have to work an hour and a half or an hour and some change just to buy fucking deodorant?
Yeah.
So as far as 50-50 relationships, a lot of people are in 50-50 relationships because they can't afford to live by themselves.
It's just no way that you can take care of a whole household with one paycheck now. That's
Absolutely not.
just throw that out the window.
Absolutely
Every
not.
woman needs to understand that. Like it's now 50-50, maybe not so much, but we're gonna do a 70-30.
Now here's the thing.
Or like you got to. I think women should understand. Like it got to be a 70-30 type situation or 80-20.
Right.
Like help a nigga out somewhere in this whole situation.
And here's the thing, though. You want me to pay all the bills. Pay your car payment, pay my car payment, pay the insurance,
and then
pay
take
this,
trips.
and then you want. That's what I was about to say.
Like, whoa.
And then you want me to. Then you want me to. Not even trips. Then you want me to take you out to eat.
Yeah, not one time a week. They want to like every weekend for one.
Exactly.
And it's like we can't do that. You can do it. Like okay,
So,
you pay for
then,
that part.
And then on top of that, I gotta buy the diapers, buy the clothes, buy this, so on and so on and so on.
Yeah.
So now you got damn Lester here working 3 jobs. Lester dies of a heart attack at 50.
and that's sad. A lot of women these days rather you work 2 jobs so that you can pay for everything versus spending time. Basically, the man can spend time at home with the family.
I dated a female who was just like, look, like I need to be taken care of, so on and so on and so on. I said, look, you got the wrong nigga.
Yeah, all day, like, let me get back in the car, like, I got you. Look, 50-50, I get it, maybe that's a little bit too much in my eyes, but you're going to help out somewhere. You know what I'm saying? I'll pay for the mortgage and the bills in the house. You might
You
have to
take
get
care of the
you might have
utilities.
to get your I mean, I can with the money I make, I can take care of the whole house.
Right.
All right.
But do you?
No, your car, no. No, hey,
I was about to
that's
say,
your car.
you could take
You
care.
got to handle that.
You can
Okay.
take care of the whole house, but do
Yeah.
you want to?
Me personally, I do. That's just me. And I ain't paying for everything now, but I
Right.
will take care of the household. You will have somewhere to sleep. You will have lights. You will have the basics. Only because my kids.
Right. Of course.
Yeah, I'm not even going to argue with that. Now, when it comes to like anything outside of that, anything recreational, what how would you say? Anything like you want to take trips, you want to go out to eat, and all that. Hey, yeah, you might have to
Well, and here's the thing, because
you might have to pay for a couple of dates.
I just went to, I just went to New York last weekend, right? So my brother, takes care of 100% of everything in the house. But my brother and his old lady, they have a 6-year-old
Yeah.
and a 2-year-old. She takes care of the house. And my brother was just like, I don't mind that because, like, that's a job in itself, taking care of the kids. But, her car payment, her insurance and everything, she takes care of herself. He's just like, you just got to know where to meet in the middle.
You do, but also taking care of kids, that's only excuse up to a certain age.
Because, Mila,
Once they start kindergarten,
yeah, I would say Mila goes to school in the
yeah,
day, so all she got to take care of is
yeah,
Maverick, which, that's your
that's
son.
yeah.
And Maverick, the thing about it was when I was staying at the house, that nigga's a full-time job because, like I said, that
Well,
man
yeah.
wakes up at 4 o'clock in the morning and
I got it. No, I totally understand that.
so
Once they get to kindergarten stuff, like, it's really no excuse at that point. But like Mark Brown said, her 30 might, but I mean, 30 might be her 50. I get it. Let me see what my girl D say. But
what
all
up?
women are not like that.
What up, D?
I know. I know. I have always been a boss where I make sure I take care of the house, take care of the bills, make sure that we have food to eat and everything because I've always been the breadwinner. I understand that. I understand that.
And
If
this
you
is
in
a
the
woman
situ-
being a
yeah,
breadwinner.
yeah. Um, a lot of women are.
Like,
A lot of women are like they are the breadwinner. But let me ask you something, D. Did you hold that against your partner? Cause you was
listen,
the bread, like, did you like, nigga? I do the
listen,
hell I want. You know what I'm saying? You can't tell me what the boo.
listen.
Did you hold that? Did you
There's
hold
a,
that against him?
there's a lot of women that do.
Yeah,
There's a lot of women
yeah.
that's just like, like make you feel like shit at the end of the day. Just like, like
Yeah.
you make X, Y, Z, I make X, Y, Z, whoop, 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 so on
So
and
he
so
can't
on.
tell me anything,
Right.
and that's which is crazy. Because even if I was the breadwinner in the house, like the old lady's still gonna tell you, like what to
Right.
do, type shit.
But you gotta understand, there's a lot of women out there who make men feel like shit. It's just like, I don't need you.
Yeah.
You know, if
Understand.
you if you live by yourself, you can be able to afford X, Y, Z. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yeah, I understand that, D. You rather not bash or say nothing. I got it. I got it.
It's degrading.
Hold on. No, you always. I always been a good-hearted person. I've never been the type to talk crap or talk less. No, I understand that. I understand that. So you're not one of them that it's the breadwinner then talk down on, your partner in the house. I understand that. I understand that.
Yeah, I mean, like,
That's
but
cool.
there are some women out there that's just like, like, I make this, I
Yeah,
make
yeah,
that, so on and so on. I don't need you. You're nothing without me, and
and that's crazy.
make a nigga feel like shit.
Um,
I've been in that kind of relationship before.
I ain't never been in that. Always been a breadwinner in my
Good.
every situation I've been in.
Good.
But I seen it though. I
Yes,
seen
it's
it,
like,
man. But to me, I'm more of a 70-30, 80-20 guy. You gonna have somewhere to sleep. You gonna have some TV to watch. You gonna have, you know what I'm saying. But anything
Six-
outside of that, you want to take a trip to Disney World or something like that. Yeah, you got to
60-40.
Yeah, you want to fly somewhere. You got to cup that up.
I'm a 60-40. I'll take most of those.
Yeah, I tell you, yeah. I tell you.
I'll take most of it.
And I
But,
think that's what we need to get this society to be 60-40.
yeah, I'll take most of the lead. But
Yeah.
the thing about it is, you gotta
Yeah,
meet me somewhere.
men talk about 50-50, you wildin'. You just
Yeah, you
you
gotta
wildin'. You just at least take the 60 so you can
Right.
feel good about yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
don't you want to
It's
feel
like-
good about yourself as a man?
We're going on this
Yeah,
trip
yeah,
because
yeah,
of you,
yeah.
but guess what? I keep the lights
Yeah,
on.
but to each his own. Y'all want to split the mortgage, the rent. To each his own. I'm not knocking that. Whatever you got to do to get by, that's the only point. Y'all in this together as partners. Y'all need to do what y'all got to do to get by.
Absolutely.
That's at the end of the day, that's what it is.
I agree.
My boy said 60-40 and a good attitude all day. There you go.
There we go. He got it.
That's how you do it,
He
son.
got
You
it down
gotta
pat.
have you got it down to
He got it
a
down to a
science
science.
right
Yeah.
there to a science. You gotta have a good attitude all day, because if you don't, you out of here.
Knocked it out the park there.
What's your biggest fear in life?
My children dying before me.
Yeah, I understand that.
So it's like I said, I really don't fear nothing because the thing about it is we all got to go sometime. But in life's natural selection,
Yeah.
you're supposed to go before your children. So if any of my children were to pass before me, that's my biggest fear because you're not prepared in life for that. You're
Yeah.
always prepared to lose a parent,
Yeah.
but you're not prepared to lose a child.
I think on the flip side of things, I don't even want to talk about. I don't want to wish this on our kids or anything like that.
Right.
But I think it's flip flop. I think well, it depends on how you are before your parent passed. For one,
Right.
think about my kids are still fairly young.
Right.
My oldest is only 15. So if I would have passed, or her parents would have passed, man, you
Yeah,
know what I'm
my
saying? Like you got to find somebody to stay, somebody else to stay with, and
my
stuff
oldest
like that.
my oldest will be 21 in November.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I got you. I got you. So now that makes a little bit more sense. You still wants to go before her, you know what I'm
right.
saying? But if you would have passed, she would have handled her own. But I definitely understand. I understand both ways.
Yeah. So it's just one of those things that like, because like I said, when you look at life, you know you're gonna lose your parents one day,
Yeah.
and no matter how old that could be. Like my dad lost both his parents within a year. My dad was 16 when his dad died, and 17 when his mom
Man,
died.
he was still a teenager.
Yeah. So like.
Damn.
He understood in life, we lose our parents. He didn't
Yeah.
expect them to lose them that soon, but he understood that's how life works.
Yeah.
So, like, when I think about life, I want my children to bury me. I already gave my children instructions. This is what happens when I pass.
Yeah.
I don't have instructions when they pass because that's not how life is supposed to work for me. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So it's just like, I fear losing my children.
Yeah. So, I mean, I lost both of my parents. I lost my mom in 2018, lost my dad in 2022, early December 2022. So, when my dad passing, that's when my biggest fear started to come in at. And I never had this fear until I went to his funeral. My dad maybe had 8 people at his funeral. That's it. And that's in me,
Right.
me, his girlfriend, maybe well, his parents has passed. But anyway, me, his girlfriend, maybe a couple of friends or whatever. And this was in Atlanta. He used to live in Atlanta. He passed away, and only 8 people showed up. They were just like, and when we got there, they were like, "I need us to put out more chairs." And his girlfriend was like, "No,
Because,
that little 2 rows, that we probably ain't gonna fill up them 2 rows." And I'm looking at her like, "Damn." And my other 2 brothers, I mean, they didn't show up either. You know what I'm saying? So I was the only one of his
you're the
kids to
only
show
one, yeah,
up.
that's what I say.
And they had their reasons, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that they either couldn't show up or they didn't want to show up. I'm not going to say that. That's more for them to speak about it. But out of all his, out of his 3 kids, I'm the one that showed up.
Right.
But that put a fear in my heart because if my look, I ain't had no relationship with my dad
Right.
at all. They called me off the whim. I think my sister called me. Somehow somebody called my sister. I don't know. It was some weird shit, and then it got to me like
Right.
Dad
It
passed.
just passed down
Yeah.
through the telephone.
And we didn't even have a relationship at all, and I made it to it. You know what I'm saying? His other kids did not do. The nigga gone. You know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
like, damn, that's my biggest fear.
So-
like dying and nobody.
Nobody really cared.
Yeah, like nobody really cared.
So-
Even his kids.
And
That's crazy.
that's one thing that I don't fear, due to the simple fact even with my job,
Yeah.
working with the community, working with this, I know that I'm guaranteed to have somebody show up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've made sure that all my relationships in life, even with my children, when we had a strained relationship, I make sure that all those are mended.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just one of the things that, like, I'm gonna be honest. I haven't always been the best father. Like I said, you heard that I was homeless earlier. I couldn't provide. I couldn't do. I wasn't always the best father. But the thing about it is, like, my children didn't ask to be here.
Yeah.
So, if any relationship was worth fixing for me, it was with my kids.
Yeah.
It was just like when I finally got straight. Let me tell you what happened in the 3 years where we had a strained relationship, where I wasn't allowed to be present, or I wouldn't allow myself to be present. So, like, it's so jarring how our fears, are a complete 180 against each other. You know what I mean? Because, like, I fear losing my children. You fear almost dying alone, where, not too many people care.
Yeah.
And that, like, sorry about that.
No.
It just goes to show you, like where people's heads are in life. You know what I mean? It's just like, even if I was to die alone or die with nobody caring, I know I did everything in life to make amends with everybody that I had. So if you decide not to show up, that's your fault. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the reason why I think that because I wear my heart on my shoulders, right? I wear
Oh,
my heart on-
absolutely.
So I give everything. I give everybody. I'm always there for people, and boom, boom. And then I always falling out with people off of something that either they did and I found out about it, or I said no to something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
oh no, all of a sudden
And-
nobody want to fuck me.
but here's
It's
the
like,
thing.
damn, nigga, you ain't gonna count all the other things I done for you. I was the only one in your corner.
People like you get taken advantage of the most, and
Yeah, and
it sucks.
definitely.
And it sucks
Definitely
due to the
seen
simple
that over
fact that you're the kind of person that says, if I have a penny, you have half.
Yes, that's
So
exactly how I am. Yeah.
when you're very giving in your nature and it's not reciprocated, it leads to internal frustration.
Yeah.
Which, I'm real big on mental health, and that's not great for you mentally. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be a psychiatrist. I'm not trying to do my job here. So I understand your fear even better now, because the thing about it is, I'm willing to do this for you.
Yeah.
I'm willing to go the line for you. If
Yeah.
you were to pass, guess what? I'm the first one sending your mom flowers. I'm the first one there. I'm the one setting up chairs. I'm the one sitting,
Yeah.
setting up the food at the way pass.
Yeah.
Just to find out that if you were to pass, nobody would do that for you. That's gotta be a
Yeah, that's my
hurting
that's my
feeling.
biggest fear, man.
There's
It's
gotta
like,
be a hurting feeling internally. You know what I mean?
all the shit, like, and I take that. My problem is I take that into account with everything, like
No, and
my
the thing about-
music, doing this podcast show. Like, damn, I will promote everybody else, but I don't get promoted back. Like,
You're an
at the same
empath.
time. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, I just want some.
you just want some
Yeah, like,
reciprocation.
hey, if
And-
you got something going on, I'll promote it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
and you
you're not
just-
even
You just want to
fucking with a nigga over here when I got, and I be having niggas on my show. I go, it's just like now my heart is having me drive to people. You know what I'm saying?
And you just want to have a little bit of
Yeah,
reciprocation.
somebody just like give me some flowers. You know what I'm saying?
And the thing about it is, I'm kind of the same way. But the thing about it is, I've learned to put a wall on my heart
Yeah.
to protect me. Because one of my biggest flaws was I was expecting me out of people.
Yes, and that's what I stopped doing.
I was expecting me
That's too
out
easy.
of
That's
everybody. You know what I mean? It's just like, yo, I'm willing to go on the line for you.
Yeah,
Why aren't you willing to
yeah.
do it for me?
And I had to stop that also.
And the thing about it was, I remember driving, well, not driving, I was riding a bus. Riding a bus from New Jersey back here, to reformat my life and reconstruct my life. And one of the things I had to think about is, how did I get myself in this situation?
Yeah.
How did I, end up where I'm at? And a lot of times, it was like 98% of the time, I was putting myself on the line for somebody who wasn't willing to do the same shit for me.
Yeah.
So I understand where you're coming from with that.
And the only person that's done that lately is Mark Brown. I don't, and then now I get a little like, I'm trying to guard myself a little bit. But Mark Brown's kind of like me. He's just gonna do stuff off the. I mean, I fuck with you.
Off the strength
So,
of, yeah, I'm about to say,
What
off
you
the
trying to do, my nigga? I got you. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You don't owe me nothing. I owe you nothing. You know what I'm saying? We gonna do this together. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But me and Bart Brown had some falling out with some other niggas that used us. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like,
Here's the thing, though. For every 10 people you meet, you're going to meet one Mark.
yeah, that's
So
facts.
those are the people that you keep close.
Yeah.
Those are the people that you just hold on to, because here's the thing. Empaths know empaths. Real recognize real.
Yeah.
Real eyes realize real lies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, when you have somebody in your corner like that, y'all both are watering each other.
Yeah, that's
You know
facts.
what I mean? It's just one of the things that, look, I want to see you succeed. I'm willing to do anything it is to help you succeed. And in turn,
Yeah.
this mic keeps on running away from me.
I know. My
So,
bad.
and in turn,
Tighten it up.
he's willing to do the same for you.
Yeah.
And those are the people you need in your corner.
Yeah.
And I always say, look, I'm willing to pick up, one
Yeah.
dime as opposed to 10 pennies.
Yeah. And you just don't find too many people like that.
Oh,
You know what I'm
absolutely
saying? So,
not.
It's like, damn, cause when you meet people like that, you're like, damn, you sure, like, bro? Because some people will do that and they got another agenda
Yeah, and that's
towards
what,
you. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? That you figure it out later. But I mean, that's not Mark Brown. I'm saying that
their
Mark Brown's a
interior,
rare
their interior
person.
motive
Yeah.
is out here
Yeah.
while you're over here.
Yeah.
And some people feed off of that. Some people are natural manipulators.
Yeah.
Where they just sit there and just seethe off of that one tool right there. Like, okay, well, I see this. Let's see how much I can get off of this person
Yeah.
before
They catch on.
before they catch on.
I got you. That's true.
So like, it's just wild how our fears are just like,
Yeah.
they're different, but they're the same.
And you had a different relationship with your kids early on. That's why your fear came. But it's still it's in the same boat though.
Well, and here's the thing though, and I don't want to drag on the subject
No, you
too
good.
much. It's just like I realized my dad was always there. You know what I mean? Like, especially in our neighborhood, there was not too many fathers present.
Yeah.
It would be a crime for me to rob my children out of the childhood that I had.
I got you.
You know what I mean? It would have been a crime for me to sit there and, like, been selfish just to go about my own agenda, leaving them behind.
Yeah.
And like I said, for a little bit, I wasn't the best dad. I was out of state. There were times where I was switching jobs, so my child support had to be, like, I wasn't really worried about, like, if everything was good in their home.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to survive myself. And, they were too young to understand that. So I remember, as a matter of fact, the other day, me and my daughter, we were just talking. And we were just, talking about life. And I think the light bulb finally went off for her. Because, of course, she has questions, like, why'd you leave at this point? Why did this happen? So on and so on. And
Yeah.
we just had a heart-to-heart talk. And everything was, she was just like, okay, I get it. I love you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what that is.
Okay, what's that?
I think it's air conditioning.
Oh, that shit came on strong.
My bad.
Oh, that's how that bitch came on. Blizzard.
My bad.
Nah, but before we end this, I think our fears is in the same.
It's in the
bracket.
same wheelhouse. But
You was talking about you wasn't always the greatest father to your kids,
Right.
And then when my father passed, he wasn't great towards me. That was my biggest fear of not seeing that. Going to the funeral, it was still cold inside. Like damn, it wasn't even. It was real short, fast,
right.
quick, and that pretty much was it. You know what I'm saying? I had to sign some papers.
Let me ask you a question. Mentally, you said your dad wasn't there, right?
Yeah.
Mentally, have you forgiven yourself for your dad's mistakes?
No. And when he passed, it was
And
kind of like,
I'm not trying to get too deep.
no,
here.
you're good. No, you're good. You're good. Rephrase that. What you mean by that? I don't want to answer
Do you
too
think
fast.
your father done everything he could have done
No.
despite his situation? Okay.
Cause you know why?
Why is that?
My mom and my dad got a divorce when we was living in Florida at the
Okay.
time. We was in Fort Walton Beach. This nigga literally stayed 10 minutes up the road
And didn't come see
and
you?
did not come see me. He didn't pick me up. Nothing.
Let me ask
You know
you a
what I'm
question. Do you know what was going on in his head mentally? And I'm not trying to come to your dad's
Oh, I
defense.
know. I do know.
Okay.
Former, he was on cocaine early. He was on cocaine at that time.
Okay.
He was like my mom was still in the Air Force, and he had got kicked out or whatever. He got out, got kicked out, whatever. So he was really like, this is a nigga at the house.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm
Gotcha.
saying?
So,
and
as I always say, a furniture holder.
yes,
Somebody
pretty
to
much
hold the furniture down.
Yeah, pretty much.
Gotcha.
And then they ended up going through the separation process, and then he was staying in the extra room. My mom continued on work. My mom had to work 2 jobs because my dad fucked up the credit. You know what I'm saying? He had a car he couldn't pay. Cause he had no job.
Right.
So my mom had to go work at Walmart and all this stuff to make sure all his cars was paid and all that stuff. And then I know he used to snip that cocaine because he had that. And the reason why I know because for one reason he got.
Children aren't stupid.
He got caught. Yeah, I'm not stupid. He got caught up in the white girls real quick down there in Florida, and he had that one long fingernail like like a pimp. And I remember he used to fuck with his nose a lot.
Children aren't stupid.
And then when he was still living with us, he used to take me to his side chick's house. I mean, right? I'm just sitting there in the living room while he's kissing another bitch, and then like we go back, and I tell my mama like, "Yo, daddy was kissing." Before I never called my daddy either.
Gotcha.
His name was Bobby. I called that nigga Bobby. I don't never remember the time I ever called him daddy.
No, I got you.
But either way, I told my mama like Bobby was kissing another chick, but she already knew what was going on.
Right.
So then he moved out.
It was just confirmation. For
Yeah. It wasn't even confirmation. She already knew.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? She was just like, whatever. I'm about to divorce this nigga. Boo boo. But she had a divorce because that 10-year thing that still was going on back then in the military.
Gotcha.
Get half the retirement. That nigga was trying to draw out the whole retirement.
Gotcha.
And she ended up getting the shit chopped off at 9 years, 6 months. Like right there.
Right at the end.
Right there. So he didn't get half of the retirement.
Ooh, I know he was pissed.
He moved out around the corner. I think he went to Niceville, Florida, maybe Crestview or some shit like that. Either way, nigga never come see me. You know what I'm saying? So, but then over the years, his guilty conscience started getting to him.
Exactly.
And I was like 6 or 7 at that point. But then when I moved back to Georgia, I moved to Brunswick, Georgia, and I think he came see me when I was like 15. He was driving trucks or something at that point. And then he's like, I'm gonna be there for your son. Like, boom, he just disappeared again. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then he went to Atlanta. I mean, he was just literally like 4 or 5 hours up the road. So no, he didn't do.
I call that Fresh Prince theory. Remember the episode where Lou came to see?
Oh yeah. Exactly how it was. Yeah.
The Fresh Prince theory.
How come he don't want me, man?
Yeah, but here's the thing though, like, where the flip side of your story is, I realize my children are going to need me.
Yeah, my kids too. Yeah.
As I get older, I'm going to need them. You know what I mean? Not for selfish intentions, but like, I'm not trying to be that nigga that got put in the home.
Yeah. I want you. One of y'all gonna take care of me.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be that dude that gets put.
I might irritate you, but I stay out your way for the most part.
Right. Give me a room, a charger, and a blanket, and I'm good.
But then when he passed, I felt bad.
Of course.
And I drove down there to
like
Atlanta.
I said, you're an empath.
Yeah. I mean, but that's still my dad.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And every time, but the craziest thing is, even though he never made the effort to fuck with me, I always made the effort to fuck with him.
Right.
Every time I was in Atlanta to visit my boy JT, I always text him like, I'm gonna stop by, see how you doing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I always did that.
Did you stop by and see how he was doing?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, I was about to say.
No, yeah, I didn't lie to him. No,
I was about to say.
I might not see this nigga for 5 more years, so let me stop by and see how you doing.
I was about to say, you're like, see how it feels, nigga?
But you know what? To caveat on that one, it was only one time I did that, and then he died. You know what I'm saying? So I just couldn't find the time to get him. I was in Atlanta visiting my boy JT, and I told him I was here, but I just couldn't. We was doing so much, I couldn't.
And sometimes
I was like, I'll catch him next time. That's exactly what I did. But it ain't like I didn't try to come see him.
But sometimes that happens. So,
Yeah.
So don't beat yourself.
No. It ain't. You know what? At the funeral, I wasn't, because I'm the only son. I was the only kid that showed up.
Right.
So at the end of the day, at the time that I was most needed, I was there, especially for his girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was when I showed her, everybody was like, "Oh shit! Like, one of his kids are here." But for my other 2 brothers, I mean, nothing against them, but I was like, "Damn."
No, but here's the thing.
You can't. Not for the funeral.
But here's the thing, though. Everybody processes.
Yeah, you're right.
Shit differently.
Cause when I bring up his name, they like, "Put that nigga." You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm like, I mean, yeah, fuck him, but
yeah. Everybody processes
go
shit
that
different.
deep.
And like I said, you're an empath.
It's still that. Yeah.
So like, I didn't want my daughters to be, my daughters and my son to be on that level. Just like, fuck that nigga. I didn't want.
Yeah, definitely
at
not
all.
that. Yeah.
So the thing about it is, I made amends. It's just like, look, this is what was going on. And I told Alicia, once you get old enough to fully understand adulthood, let's talk about it. And that's what we did.
My daughter named Annalicia. That's crazy.
Yeah. That's cool. So like once she got old enough, we just cleared the air. And now I get to the point where I tell my daughter, you know what, I miss you. Like, let's have a lunch date or some shit like that. So like, she understands, Aliona, which is the middle child, she's getting there.
How many kids you got? If you don't mind me asking.
5.
Okay. I saw a picture. You posted them.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, they look like 9 kids. I don't know.
No, they were my kids.
Yeah, I ain't want to pry in and like, damn, nigga, you got all them kids. I ain't want to do all that.
Kids, nieces, and nephews.
That's cool. I didn't know you had 5 kids. I didn't have 5. I mean, I got 3, but.
But the thing about it is, like, I didn't want to be that dad that was either a suitcase dad, a latchkey dad, or an absentee dad.
Gotcha.
I just wanted to.
Yeah. Okay.
Before
we go, man, tell me what you do here.
Okay,
what is this right here?
This is Father to Father. What we do is we help fathers engage or re-engage in the life of their children. Okay. Since we're on the subject.
Yeah. That's why I was like, let's go ahead and slide into that one.
We help fathers engage or re-engage in the life of their children. If a father is unemployed we help him find a job. If he's underemployed, we help him find a better job. Anything dealing with the legal system, child support order modification, mediation, anything legally, we handle to them at no cost to them.
Okay.
So like honestly, I was in the program before. That's how I got a better relationship
Gotcha.
with my children, you know. And the thing about it was, I was always bringing people to group because we do peer support sessions also, where we teach 4 components, where it's 24 weeks. You know, we teach healthy relationships, healthy fathers, healthy families, economic mobility, and parenting. So we have courses. Each one of those courses have 6 weeks, so it's 24 weeks, half a year. And I always tell people, if you had 24 hours in 1 year to improve every aspect of your life and help yourself, would you not do it? Especially if it was free. You know, like, how much is a mediation session? $75 an hour, right?
Yeah.
We cover that for free. You know what I mean? So,
Is this the only branch?
oh no, we have one here, one amongst Corner. And South Carolina is the only state that has a statewide fatherhood initiative.
Is it one in Columbia?
There is one in Columbia.
I wouldn't mind, like,
it's called
get this right.
It's called Midlands Fatherhood Coalition in Columbia.
Send me that.
I got
Because
you.
I
I
wouldn't
got
mind getting involved. I mean, I'm retired. I
got you.
You know, much. I would love to step into that type of work
Absolutely.
and just give back.
Like I said, it's in Columbia. You can volunteer your time. So, but the thing about it is, I never knew that I was a bad father until you're in a peer support session and you're looking at this person just like, I'm dying to spend time with my children. And I'm like, I can call my kids up right now, and my ex-wife is going to let me. You know.
Yeah, that's good.
So
That's dope shit.
And the thing about it was, I never realized I wouldn't call myself a bad father. I was just an unattentive father. And
You always care for your kids. You were
Right,
just in
exactly.
a situation where you couldn't do much for them.
But I didn't realize I will say this, bad father. I didn't realize I was a bad father when there are people out there begging for attention from their kids or begging to have their kids, and I had all that.
Yeah.
I just needed to tighten up and do better. And that's what I tell people. I've never finished high school. I got a GED. You know what I mean? I've never finished anything in my life but this program. And if I can finish this program,
Yeah.
anybody could.
I mean, yeah, I got kicked out of high school. Then I had to go to youth challenge to get my GED.
Right.
And but that was one of the things too. But 20 years in the army, that's what I got to.
Right.
I finished that shit. 20 years, motherfuckers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's how I felt. That's how I felt.
And I
when
understand that. Yeah.
That's how I felt when I did the 24 weeks here. I was like, shit, if I can complete this, I can get anybody to complete it. So it got to the point where I was bringing people to classes, and I'm graduated already. They got to the point where they're like, look, dog, you want a job? Like, you can bring these people in. You want to get paid for it? And the rest is history.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna look into that.
yeah, man, I'll give you the information right before you leave.
I
So
got you. If anybody don't tell you, my nigga, like, I'm proud of you. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Like you said, we known each other over the 4 years.
Right.
Every time we talk, we get a little deeper and deeper about each other.
Absolutely.
But the stuff that you've been through, all the ups and downs, the
Yeah.
obstacles, and when I met you, you was already past that when I met you, and you just always seemed like a stand-up guy. But you tell
Gotta
me
be.
about your past, you was like, nah, I wasn't always like this guy. And that's what you're
Right.
admitting now. I wasn't always this guy. I became this guy. But ever since I met you, you always been a stand-up guy, man. You always motivated me. You always encouraged me to do stuff. And I'm just very proud of you, man. If anybody else
I
don't tell you,
appreciate it. And like I said,
Yeah.
even with your endeavors doing a traveling show and shit like that, that takes a big step.
It do.
Because you got to understand, everybody's very comfortable in their own confines of their home or hometown.
Yeah.
For you to go to like Florida, then come here to South
Yeah.
Carolina, and then sometimes go back to North Carolina, and you just take the show on the road.
Yeah.
That's a huge fucking step. Because the thing about it is, you're not reimbursed in gas money.
No.
You know, nobody's paying you for hotel stays
Yeah.
and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, the thing about this is, you're doing this out of a labor of love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, it's just like, if nobody tells you they appreciate you, I'm here to say it. So like,
thanks, bro.
you give me
Respect.
you give me my flowers, I'm giving you yours, just right back.
Respect, man. Respect.
Like, and the thing about it is, like, for everybody that's watching this right now, you got to understand, this is one of the hardest working podcasters. And sometimes when I see his shit, I'm like, I gotta go hard.
I mean, you know, I do things to encourage people, man. That's always been my thing, man. Anytime you have questions about anything, 'cause I know you was gonna start your little thing. I mean, you're not your little thing. You gonna start your podcast show like this, like a one-on-one type
Right.
thing. I know you was talking about that.
Well, I started one called the Professional Therapist. There's a
Mm-hmm.
reason behind that nickname because sometimes when I'm on my off days,
Yeah, you,
I come in and dressed in the
yeah,
chains,
yeah, yeah,
MJs and
yeah,
everything
yeah.
because I'm just professionally at work all the time.
I got you.
They said you can pull off both looks, and
Yeah,
one of our participants said, "Ooh, you're like a thug professional," and the name stuck. The
that's
thug,
a good one. I like that. I
the
like that.
thug professional therapist. Like I
Yeah.
started that. I'm not on it as much as I should be.
Mm-hmm.
I got 5 episodes down, but
Yeah, man. Anytime you need to come down here for an episode, man, I come down here, man.
I,
You know
I
what I'm saying?
appreciate that.
Anytime, man. I'm right up the
And
road.
I want to thank your viewers and listeners
Yeah,
for
yeah.
the intriguing dialogue, watching me. Hopefully, like they'll maybe check out my show.
Yeah, cause I'm gonna tag yours right after
Yeah, so
I'll
like,
drop this one.
and the thing about it is, it's just one of those things that I thank you guys like for supporting him, supporting me, just supporting independent,
Yeah.
podcasters, because sometimes we don't get paid for this shit.
Yeah, man. I've been doing this. I've been podcasting since 2016.
So have I.
So it's been a long ride.
So have I. So like I said, oh
Yeah,
shit, this is year.
52. Yeah,
Actually,
yeah.
this is year 7 for us.
Is it?
Cause yeah,
Yeah,
2016.
15. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, cause I've been doing since
Around the same time,
16
yeah.
also. No,
It was
I lie. I've been doing mine since 2017.
yeah. Mine was 16. Cause I remember my twins was born. Yeah, yeah. Okay,
Yeah, so
but yeah.
But
Same.
for somebody who had all this
Yeah.
time in, like sometimes we're not monetized.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
Sometimes like I look at my shit on Anchor and I'm just like, yo, we only got XYZ listens. I wonder why.
I feel like the reason why, like I used to think like that too, but I feel like if you do this if you do this from the heart,
Well, I
for
do
one,
it for love now.
for the love, yeah, the right person will find it,
Oh, absolutely.
and then it will go somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I just keep doing it, and then I just keep trying to reinvent it. You know what I'm saying? So instead of being stationary with it, now I'm like, you know what?
Why
I'm
don't we go?
retired.
Why don't we go here?
I'll just come to you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
and then that way,
And it's like I said, you didn't have to.
yeah, I didn't have to,
You
but
didn't have to.
I know people fuck with my show,
Right.
and it's hard to get to me. I'm more free now because I'm retired.
Right.
That makes sense. So it's like I can get to you.
I'm not retiring
Yeah,
from this
yeah.
job anytime
Yeah,
soon.
but I can get to people easier than they can get to me.
Oh, so
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, you know what? And I still want to move around and see how people live, where they at, how they town is, and stuff like that.
one more thing I want to bring up.
Yeah.
So we got awarded the Jefferson Award.
Okay. Oh, that's dope.
This right here is for people who do outstanding work in the community nationwide.
Yeah.
So just the fact that this small organization, because we're small but mighty, was awarded a National Jefferson Award
Yeah. That says a lot.
speaks in volumes
Yeah.
to what not only I do, but what we do as an organization.
Gotcha.
Shout out to my executive director, Sean Wilson, and Tom Swansiger, the CEO of this place. Like, not only are you guys very, very vital, you guys are very important in my life because we're like an extended family.
Yeah.
So,
Gotcha.
shout out to y'all.
Well, we're gonna end this show, man. Thank you for joining, man.
No problem. Thank you for having me, dude.
And this won't be the only show, man. I'll come back down here, man, and
I'm only an hour down.
yeah. You ain't that far from me. So, and then you got the people that want to jump on. It's cool,
Absolutely.
man.
Well,
Yeah.
like I said, I couldn't find anybody.
No, it's this. I got it. Yeah, I just throw it out there because sometimes when I did it back in Fayetteville, they just bring people. They just being like the audience.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You just hear fuck that shit.
Right.
They might scream it for the background, but they just want to be there, and they
Right.
might
So
say they
like
want
I
to.
said,
And you,
I
yeah.
just got back in from New York, and I had so much work to catch up on.
No,
that,
I just always throw it out there just in case somebody just want to sit in or they want to be part of it. I just
Absolutely.
throw it out there for everybody.
And I'm actually proud I didn't clear my throat so many times on the show because
You good. You did outstanding, man. But thank you again, man. Proud of you, man. Look out for my boy podcast in the future. Plug your podcast in.
oh, Troublemakers podcast. If you get lost on it, just type in Digga Jones
Yeah.
in any search engine. It's gonna pop up. We're on all streaming categories, pod streaming categories. That is. So yeah, Troublemakers podcast. Troublemakers with a Z at the end, not a S.
Gotcha. All right, man. Like I always say, man, we catch y'all next time. Ain't no telling where I'll be at. But hey, Hit me up, man. I might travel to you.